Robin was playing games on mobile, with his friends in the park. "Come on Nicholas, you can kill the person, he is on the top floor of the building, you can snipe him from here." Nicholas said if he could shoot he would have already killed him. Robin said, "Noob, throw away sniper, use shotguns." One after another all the friends also said to noobs, "Don't know to play," etc. Nicholas was furious and started cursing him. Robin, say that if it weren't for his cheap mouth, he wouldn't be scolded by his friends like this. Robin said, "He stops cursing, idiot." Nicholas became angry and said, "You are an idiot, why don't you get stuck by lightning?" As soon his voice fell there was lightning and it struck Robin and soon he died not knowing how. Nicholas and his friends were stunned by seeing this scene. Most of the friends stayed away from Nicholas and Robin, no friend checked his condition. Robin, when he regained his consciousness, he was surprised to see that this was not his room. He started to panic. Soon his head started to hurt and he gained the memories of his predecessor. His name is also Robin, but this world is very vast and there are many unexplored zones. The people live in a place is called the base. The base is protected by magic formation so very few monsters come near it. Here people have different occupations, like warrior, archer, mage, assassins, priest, druids, necromancer, etc. To make a base you need to clear the forbidden zone, where there are countless monster elites. Only by killing them can you make the base. There are many adventure team who has their base in the forbidden zone. Most of the people with jobs are known as an adventurer, who mainly goes out of the base to kill the monster. When you kill a monster you can get drops. They mainly attribute item which increases the overall strength of the person. Here you can also see the level that is written on each person's head. But there is also equipment that hides user data from others. The predecessor doesn't have anyone. He earned his living by doing some odd jobs. When children reach the age of 10 years old, then it's the best time to awaken their talent or jobs. The predecessor was going to take awaken job, when he was in the middle of road walking towards the awakening auditorium. The son of an adventurer was rushing, and collided with the predecessor. He fell and hit the stone next to him and died. After that, he was taken to the church where the priest cast a healing spell and then put him inside the church. After sorting out the information he went out of the church. Note, 100 copper coins equals 1 silver coin. 100 silver coins equals 1 gold coin. 100 gold coins equals 1 diamond coin. 100 diamond coin equals 1 platinum coin. Walking out, the priest stopped me. He smiled and said, "God bless you, my child, the cost of healing fees is 1 silver coin." I looked at him then checked my pocket. There were 2 silver coins, which my predecessor earned while saving for 6 months, and all it was for awakening ceremony, as if you can awaken your carrier even it is at the lowest level then you can get 5 silver for the lowest talent and a badge, which is the proof of adventure. Soon I looked at the priest with hope and asked, "Sir, can you give me 2 hours, I will repay the money for curing me." The priest thought for a while and said okay, but the cost will increase from 1 silver to 50 copper coins. I thanked him but he took out a contract, which can be bought for 1 copper coin and he asked to sign. I could only sign it. After signing the contract vanished and soon flew into the soul. Here in this world if the contract is not fulfilled then you will be punished by gods. So after that I hurriedly ran out. The awakening guild was 5 minutes from the church and I soon saw the majestic building. Here thousands of people can awaken at the same time, you can imagine how big was it. Then I went inside the awakening guild. I was handed a form. There were very few people. Many people wore the mask as to hide the identity. I filled the form and was asked to pay a silver coin. I paid then. I was asked to come near a crystal and the person there asked me to touch the crystals and asked me to close my eyes and relax. I followed his instructions. Soon my mind entered a different place. Here I saw cards. All kinds of cards were present. So I thought anyone will come to me, but all the cards went away and a blank card came into my hand. There was nothing special, just a simple plain card on both sides. There were 5 abilities of the card in my mind, maybe due to fusion of soul, which was absorb, can absorb anything as long as the user can provide energy to the card. Combine, the user can merge the same card or different cards to form new cards with different abilities. Upgrade, the user can combine similar cards to upgrade the card. Passive abilities, 50% chance to get random positive attributes. Replace equipped cards can be unequipped and replaced with other cards, by consuming corresponding mana. Space card, 20/20th grid. Each grid -2*2 metameter. It can hold cards and can stack Thoth cards. After gaining the card abilities I was immersed in my mind. Someone was telling me, "Hey you, your turn is over, move from there." Many people looked at me with sympathy as the light emitted by the crystal balls showed that I had awakened the lowest level abilities, D grade. If your talent is great then you will awaken some unique abilities, such as Mage can awaken the talent of Recover MP, by which MP is recovered at a very fast rate. The same was for others. So I moved to the side and went to buy Eyes Awakening Crystal, which shows which level you are and you can also see others' levels. The price is cheap, 1 copper each, and I paid 50 copper and bought 50. The salesman became curious and asked, "Hey, you are wasting your money by buying so much, why don't you buy one advanced level crystal?" I shook my head. The shopkeeper didn't ask much and soon he packed and I paid 1 silver coin. He returned me 50 copper coins. I then asked the shopkeeper how much does advanced and intermediate eye crystals cost. He said 1 silver for intermediate and 10 silver for advanced. I asked the difference between common, advanced and intermediate crystals. As no one was in the shop, he answered my question. Common eye crystal can see only those levels who are the same as you. Intermediate eye crystal can see level above 5 levels of your level. Advanced crystal can see level above 10 levels of your level. Then I thanked him for the explanation, and I went and showed him that I had become a D bronze level adventure. Soon I got 5 silver coins paid. Then I walked towards the church and soon paid the priest with 1 silver 50 copper coins. He took the coins. The contract was lifted from both our souls. Now next I need to decide to go back to the hut where I lived. I walked towards my hut. A very small hut with a bathroom, a kitchen and a bedroom, rented for 60 copper coins a month. I first walked and saw the hut was messy, so I could only clean it first. It took me an hour to completely clean. Then I decided to summon the crystals card. Soon I summoned it, and then used absorb on one eye crystal. It was instantly absorbed, and again I summoned another card and I once again used my card abilities. Soon the same thing happened. Then I used upgrade option. Soon the card were fusing slowly and my card power almost became half. I decided to use the card which showed it has a green color eye crystal card. It soon vanished from my eyes and soon I felt something in my mind and it instantly became clear. Then I looked, concentrated my mind, and soon my information appeared before me. Robin, D bronze. Card level 1, 50 out of 100. Health 30 of 30. Mana, 10 of 20. Card slot -1/2. Eye crystal card, green, can be upgrade. Passive abilities, card combine, you can randomly get positive attributes. Mana recovery, 1 mana per minute. As your level increase, your mana recovery speed increase. Next, I decided to upgrade 1 more eye crystal card. I soon completed and then used the upgrade card. Soon I found my card color has turned blue. My status was as follows. Robin, D bronze. Card level 2, 100/200. Health, 60/60. Mana, 40/40. Card slot -1/4. Free points, 10. Eye crystal card, blue, can be upgraded. You can see the abilities of other people higher than 10 levels of you. Passive abilities, card combine, you can randomly get positive attributes. Mana recovery, 2 mana per minute. As your level increase, your mana recovery speed increase. After that time, I first absorbed 48 cards, then I started to use combined cards. Many new cards appeared with random attributes like Spirit +2, Night Vision, Mind Attack. These 3 cards appeared before me. I needed to choose any card which can be used by me. I thought for a while and decided to combine all the card as mostly they will be used up and I can get abilities, and now my 3 card space were empty. After combining all the cards, the experience I got was enough to level me 2 times. Other people need to kill at least 10 beasts to level from 1 to 2. While I easily leveled, if other people knew then they directly kill me. When this thought came to my mind, I decided to not tell anyone about my card abilities. Once again I concentrated my mind and started to look at my status. Robin, D bronze. Card level 4, 800/1600. Health, 120/120. Mana, 60/60. Card slot -4/10, max equipment slot. Card space, 30/30. Free points, 20. Eye crystal card, blue, can be upgraded. You can see the abilities of other people higher than 10 levels of you. Night vision, purple, allow you to see at night just as you see in the day. Spirit, purple, your recovery speed of mana has increased by 10 mana/sec. Mind attack, purple, you can attack with your mind causing the opponent to be stunned for 3 sec. Mana cost 40. Note. When used at the same level, stun for 3 sec. When used at the low level, you can do serious mental damage, or kill people below 2 levels than. When used at an opponent higher level than you, very little chance to stun. Passive abilities, card combine, you can randomly get positive attributes. Mana recovery, 2 mana per minute. As your level increase, your mana recovery speed increase. I used a total of 24 cards to combine, and now I had 22 cards left that can be used for my purposes. Soon I decided to make 4 intermediate eye crystal card and sell it to the shopkeeper. The next day after eating the food I walked towards the stall, soon I bought a cloak to hide my identity. Many people use it. Then I traveled to a stall where they were selling eye crystals. I found the nearest one and then said, "Boss, how much for intermediate eye crystal?" He looked at me and told me 10 silver coins. I then took out eye crystals and sold them all for 41 silver coins. I became a little rich man. Then I walked towards the weapons store. I decided to buy 4 bows, for 4 silver coins each, 4,000 arrows for 4 silver coins. And 4 daggers for 2 silver coins. I didn't buy any armor for the moment because I was going to hunt a plant monster that drops, 100% potion. This was the only man-eater plan fixed at one point. So first I went to my hut and bought many dried fruits which were later stored in my space card, and also the water was bought in plenty amount. The soon I absorbed, and combined, and upgrade the cards, and I got the following status. Bow LVL1, blue. Attack, 15 to 30. Critical strike bonus, 20% chance to do critical strike to enemy when hitting vital part of body. Arrow quiver, blue. Attack, 5-10. Double arrow, 20% chance to shoot double arrow, if triggered then the second arrow does twice the damage. Dagger, blue. Attack, 15 to 20. Attack speed, 10%. Passive, 10% chance to add bleeding damage, 10% chance to do critical damage. After seeing the status I was satisfied and equipped with all the cards. When summoning the card it consumes 5 mana for each equipment type. After that, I started to walk outside the base. The monster in our base region is generally ranged from level 1 to 15. Here are the dungeon with 15 floors, where you can get equipment coins, drops, potions, scrolls, skill scroll, title scroll and sometimes talent upgrade scrolls, which is a legendary drop. Equipment, scrolls, potions are also divided into different levels. From common class to legendary class. The drop in the dungeon is a very low rate. So, many people may eye your equipment after getting out of the dungeon. Inside dungeon and base, people cannot attack each other so they can still be safe. When you move 30 meters away from the base then you will enter the Forbidden Zone. The monster present in the Forbidden Zone is of various levels ranging from level 1 to 15. It is extended until you reach 30 kilometers away from base 2. In Forbidden Land not only is there fear of monsters but you also need to be aware of people who could be eyeing your equipment. So it's a very dangerous thing to travel with a companion, or you can sign the contract and then go with them. Here space bag is common and can be bought from a shop, for 50 copper coins. The common space bag has space, 3 by 3 by 3 meters cube. I came inside the dungeon, walked directly towards the 4th floor that was Valley of Plants, which drops HP/MP potions, skill scrolls, whose drop rate is low, that can be learned by any class and get passive abilities recovery scroll. Recovery, passive skills recovery, which helps you heal 10 HP per minute when you are not in battle. I looked at the plant monster and used my eye crystal skill to scout it. Man-eat monster. HP 40/40. MP 5/5. Active skill, bind the target to stop it from moving and add bleeding to the target. Lose 2 HP per cc. Cost 5 MP. I looked at its status and then summoned my bows and arrows, and then when I was at a distance of 10 meters I shoot it and soon it dissipated into thin air and a HP point was left in the drop. I looked at it and soon started hunting plant monsters. With the help of my bows and arrows, I could easily shoot the monster and killed it within one shot. After hunting 100 plant monsters a recovery skill dropped. I continued to hunt and soon the plant monster reached 200 kills and again a drop a scroll. Next drop was when I killed 300 monsters. I continued hunting and when I hunted the 500 monsters it was then this time a green colored scroll was dropped. And a boss monster has summoned. The status was as follows. Man-eating monster, bronze. HP 500/500. MP 50/50. Active skill. Bind the target to stop it from moving and add bleeding to the target. Lose 10 HP per cc. Cost 15 MP. Poisonous mist, there is poison mist covering 5 meters in diameter. I looked around and saw no one was near me, so I started to kite the monster. I would shoot it from distance and kept shooting. Soon arrow abilities double arrow was triggered and with it the monster was dead. The monster also has a chance to drop other skills for a different profession. Monster drop. Silver, 2. Title scroll. HP and MP potion *30. Skill scroll recovery, blue. Bow, green. Appraisal scroll *3. The drop was rich. I picked and put them in my inventory bag and soon I walked out of the dungeon. I had been fighting inside for almost 8 hours. Without any active skill, it takes too much time to hunt the creatures. As I was with the VNN low-level dungeon, the monster didn't take the initiative to attack me and my level was higher than those monsters. Soon I climbed out of the dungeon. I walked towards the market and soon found an empty place and then shouted, green equipment for sale only, exchange for skills only. Soon many people came to me. Rose Girl Group Adventure Team came and the leader of the group, Tina, asked me to sell her. She would like to exchange for mage skill Fireball. I happily agreed, and soon I got the skill Fireball. I was going to leave when. Stop, please wait a minute, said Tina. I looked and she said, what is the matter? Tina looked surprised as she didn't see the facial change on my face, as most of the people would like to admire her face while I looked at her as if I didn't see her beauty. Join my adventure team, I will give you 2 gold coin salary each month, said Tina. I don't want to join any team, I said. Then I left from there without hesitation. The people watching the show were surprised to hear this. Tina was only the most beautiful adventure team consisting of girls. They were beautiful and powerful, most of them were already level 10 and above. Nobody has been invited by her to join the guild. If anyone would be given the chance, then they would readily agree to her request. Tina was surprised to hear she was rejected, and the girls in the adventuring team were more surprised than her, as most of them have already reached level 10, the monster in the Forbidden Zone is 10 levels maximum to base 2. So to cross the Forbidden Zone, they had already planned to go. They were surprised that their leader was planning to bring out the boy to base level 2. Did Tina saw something? When Tina's good girlfriend Mina asked, what did you see in him? I saw he was only level 9. Tina said, intuition, if he comes with us we can safely leave the place. So she sent few people to spy on me and said not to follow in the dungeon, just keep a watch when he left the house towards the dungeon, and keep watch on the gate. If he goes out then contact him, and say I want to make a deal with me. I returned home, and I was aware that someone was following behind me as my eye crystal had reached an intermediate level and those persons who were following me were likely to be of advanced level. So I turned around and recognized the person following me was a girl. I looked at her, she panicked. She also showed a nervous expression on her face. I was more sure that she had followed me. I don't like being followed, so I walked towards her. What should I do? He shouldn't have seen me. Right, the leader asked to follow him, now he is coming to me. Try to ignore him. Yes, if he asks why are you following him? Then you can say wherever I go, what has to do with? Yes, this is the perfect reason. While she was thinking of the reason, she soon saw the person whom she was following came to her. I walked towards the girl and saw her panicking and then lost in thought. I continued walking towards her. When I reached near her, I was going to call out when she said, I am not following you, wherever I go, it has nothing to do with you. I looked at her. When she said her purpose without asking, I was stunned, then had black lines on my forehead. The idiot who liked to say their purpose without asking the question. I couldn't help look at her. Is she a mascot? If possible I would like to be on my team. While I was going to talk with her, on the other side in Rose Guild, Tina asked, have you seen Lena? Where is she? Someone answered, leader, we have seen her following the child. Listening to her answer, Tina asked which direction she went and hurriedly went. She thought of her and had a headache. She decided to kick her out of the team, the reason because when Tina asked her to put the points in strength and Lena put her points in HP. She asked why didn't put points in strength, she said she want to live longer, making her speechless. The next time when they were fighting, she couldn't do very little damage, so most of the team members kept away from her. So she was kept in the guild and had free lunch. So the most popular and most hated of team members. Tina had already made contact with her, in which she will feed her and she will work for her, and after following 1 month the contract period while being over. Both parties were happy, one was happy about getting food, other party was happy about getting a partner. But soon Lena became the mascot of team members. Whenever she went to the dungeon she will attach a monster and do very little damage. And then she will run around to seek help. Seeing this, other was speechless. Therefore most people would not bring her to level up, she was generally a burden to them. Tina soon reached the location. When Lena saw her she said, leader, I followed him but he found that I followed him, and said, wherever I go it has nothing to do with you, I am not following you. I looked at both of them with interest. Then I pointed at Lena and said, why did you send her to follow me? Tina said, wait, I will kick her out of my adventures group, I hope this can satisfy you, then we can talk. Lena was stunned and she was almost ready to cry and she begged, leader, please give me last chance. But Tina showed cold eyes, and she looked at me waiting for my answer. I looked at her and looked and said, Lena has nothing to do with you in future. Tina nodded her head. Listening to Tina's words, Lena was almost going to cry. I then said, Lena, join my adventures group. Hearing my words, both Tina and Lena were surprised. Lena looked at me and asked, really? I looked at the living mascot and nodded my head, and hurriedly asked her to sign the contract, which had simple terms and conditions. In which I will arrange her to live, food, and she will not betray me. The condition of the contract said only one thing, that was to not betray me. I asked her how long will the contract will be valid. She said, lifetime. I asked her, are you sure? She nodded her head quickly. I agreed to her request, and soon the contract flashed and disappeared into our bodies. After doing this, I looked at Tina. I asked her, Miss Tina, what do you want to talk about? She said, when will you go to base 2? I said, after 2 months. Then she said, bring my adventures team with you, I can pay anything. Miss, there are many guilds who can take you, why don't you follow them? I asked. I feel safe when following you, she said. Then I asked her, she will pay me 20 gold coins, 10 coins now and 10 coins after reaching base 2. She gritted her teeth and chose to agree with me. Soon she signed the contract and she paid 10 gold coins. Then she invited me to be the vice president of their guild. She also said, as long as you agree I can even sleep with you. I without hesitation walked towards Lena, hold her hand, then we went away, not responding to her question. Seeing I left her without saying anything, she was angry, but soon she calmed her anger and then she walked towards her guild. Tina announced that they are going to train and prepare to set off after 2 months. Everyone in the Rose Guild became energetic, while her bestie Mina asked about the cooperation. After hearing that she paid 20 gold coins, she was stunned. That was the saving for their 2 months. Then she remembered that before she paid 2 gold coins to work in their guild. She almost blew up in anger. Many adventures team may take you out for 10 gold coins. In the contract it was also written that money dropped from the monster both teams will divide half, so on with another drop. The more she heard, the more angry she became. Mina was going to me, while Tina hurriedly stopped. I took Lena and asked her, do you have anything in Rose Adventure Group that you want to bring? She thought for a while, once started to take out things from the space bag. I hurriedly stopped her and said we will go to the room and there she can empty her space bag. I also remembered that while I hunted a total of 500 monsters, each monster dropped almost 5 copper coins, so I must have at least 5 silver coins and 2 silver coins from the bronze monster boss, and before I had left with 30 silver coins after spending 1 silver coins on water and food. So I had a total of 10 gold, 37 silver coins. I looked at Lena and said, Lena, let's celebrate your welcoming by eating food, I will treat you. Lena looked at me, said, okay, then she asked, what is your name? I forgot to introduce myself to her, so I answered my name and level, and said, we will be partners in future, we will be depending on each other. Lena's eyes were almost moist, as most of the people treated her like garbage. Now someone told her he was going to become a partner. I looked at her and said, Lena, don't be so touched, we need to eat, do you know a good place to eat? Lena looked at me surprised and said, you don't even know a good restaurant and you are level 9. I could only spread my hand and asked her to show the way. Soon she took me to a restaurant where the food cost was almost 1 silver. I looked at her and saw her big eyes and could only agree with her. Welcome customers, said the waiter and let us in. We sat down and asked for food to prepare for us. They agreed and prepared food. The food was being prepared, so I could stare at Lena. Her overall figure was good, she had weak color skin. Her breast was small as she had turned 15 years. I thought if I could marry her it would be good. Then I said, Lena, tell me your status. Hearing this she lowered her head and said, level 2, all points added to health. As the restaurant was quiet, most people looked at us with gloating expressions. I asked her not to worry. She looked at me and asked, will you not leave me, after hearing my status? I said, don't worry, I will not leave you, you follow me and you will become the strongest adventurer in the world. Hearing this her spirit was motivated and let go of the final worry in her heart. The people in the restaurant looked at us with gloating expressions. I didn't pay attention to them. Soon the food was delivered, we started eating and ate till we both were full and the asked waiter for the bill. The waiter soon said 20 silver coins. Hearing the number, Lena almost jumped and she was going to fight. I hurriedly pulled her and paid the waiter 21 silver coin and asked him to keep on the silver coin as a tip. Lena had been thinking of 21 coins as she used to get 2 silver coins in a month for eating, and today she ate 10 times the cost of a month. I looked at Lena and said, hey, don't feel distressed, coins can be earned back, we can eat here often if we can earn more gold coins. Lena decided that she needed to follow Robin instructions, and will do whatever he wants. Then she looked at Robin. I led Lena to buy equipment in the market. It cost me 1 silver for level 2 armor. I bought 2, then bought arms guard, 2 for 1 silver, heads gear 2 for 2 silver, leg guards, 2 for 2 silver and skirts 2 for 2 silver, and not to mention boots, for 2 silver 2 pairs. I also bought 20,000 arrows, 20 quivers, which cost me 20 silver coins. I looked where can I buy a shield, the people looked at me like an idiot and said shield protects people from being damaged, how will you fight by using a shield? So, most people sell shields at the blacksmith shops. I took Lena to the blacksmith shop and said, "Boss, what is the price of a level 2 shield?" He answered 2 copper coins, asked boss please give me 8 2 levels and 16 levels 10 shields. Okay, he answered and soon he brought all the shields, most of them covered in dust. Then when I going to leave, the boss said, "Boy, since you have bought the shield here, take this skill book," which was given to me. "It will keep rusting on the floor, it's better to give you." I took the skill and saw it was, blue, skill. I said, "Boss, the skill given is expensive, I can't take it for free." "Okay, when you are going to base 2 please bring me and my child with you," said the boss. I told okay, I will leave to base 2, I will invite you when the time comes. After I left the boss hut, the boss was murmuring to himself, what the oracle said was true, the legend has been born again, the human will rise once again. After that, I bought arrows *20 quivers which cost me 20 silver and bought 2 sets of archer level 5 equipment for 1 gold. Now I had 8 gold coins left with me. After buying the equipment I took her to my hut, as there was only 1 room, so I asked the boss and rented 1 more hut next to me. I paid him a total of 4 silver coins for 2 months for both of us. "Lena, you go to your room," I said. She nodded and went happily to live in the hut. As there was a low drop of loot, so I could only buy 2 sets of level 5 archer equipment. Then I used my card skills and soon I had full rare set archer armor. After I completed my set equipment, then I started upgrading Lena equipment. Then came the arrow, which became 1000, purple, and 1000, blue. Arrow quiver, blue. Attack, 5-10. Double arrow, 20% chance to shoot double arrow, if triggered then the second arrow does twice the damage. Arrow quiver, purple. Attack, 9-18. Double arrow, 50% chance to shoot double arrow, if triggered then the second arrow does twice the damage. Passive skill, gain 2 arrows per SEC. Well, seeing the passive skill, thought of upgrading the arrow quiver to the legendary level after I reach base 2, as there are some restrictions, which doesn't allow me to upgrade to a legendary level. It is related to the boss in the Forbidden Zone. Then I went to Lena's hut and asked her to put the equipment. She looked at the rare set, she was surprised and she started to cry and said, "Why are you so good to me? Are you trying to insult me by giving a rookie who only puts the point in health, rare armor? Don't cry and say loudly or else other people will listen to your words. I told you before, that you did nothing wrong, who is not afraid to die. You can't become a brave person in one day, so I have few suggestions for you. After you listen to me, then you can keep on crying," I tried to convince her. "Okay, I will stop crying and listen to you," she said and stopped crying. "Didn't I said I will make you the strongest adventurer, so listen to what I have to say, you will become the core member of the team, you will responsible for hitting the monster while you will use the shield to defend yourself from the monster. Don't worry, your health will drop but not fast as before but slowly. So, I will look for a priest who will help you heal, then you can hit the ugly monster with a shield, what do you say? Also now while distributing your points, on health and strength in 3:2 ratio, so not only you will have health, you can also do damage to monster." Hearing my suggestion she agreed. Then she looked at me and said, "Why not in speed?" I looked at her with a black line on my face and said, "Your profession is a warrior so you need to spend points on strength. If you wanted to run away you must choose the assassin's profession." Then somehow I made her listen to me and asked her to wear her armor and go with me to the dungeon, but before going to the dungeon I bought 20 quivers of normal arrows for 20 silver. I came to the dungeon with Lena, and we formed a party so we both can get experience and we can level up. My status was leather armor LV 5, green. HP 50. Defense 30. Skill 2% chance to ignore damage. Headgear LV 5, green. HP 15. Defense 7. Skill, +1 range, normal people can see the meters accurately, +1 increase the range by 1 meter. Gloves LV 5, green. HP 10. Defense 5. Skill, increase shooting speed by 2%. Wrist guard LV 5, green. HP 15. Defense 8. Skill, strength +1. Leg guard LV 5, green. HP 10. Defense 5. Skill, dexterity +1. Pant LV 5, green. HP 20. Defense 15. Skill, increase accuracy by 2%. Boots LV 5, green. HP 10. Defense 5. Skill, 1% chance to trigger double speed for 10 SEC, Robin LVL 9. Health 390 of 390. MNA 180 of 180. Points left, 45. Card slot. Equipment slot 7 out of 10, max. Weapon slot 3 out of 5. Active skill slot, 1/5. Passive slot, 1/10, max. Space card, 50/50ths. MP potion /HP potion * 600. HP potion recovers 50 HP and then continues to heal 10 HP /SEC, MP potion, take to gain 30 points of mana instantly. Note, cooldown for using potion is 15 SEC. Only one type of potion can be used at once, for either you can take a common HP potion or a rare HP potion, you can't take them both together. Fireball, gray, throw a fireball at the enemy. Cost, 5 MP. Cooldown, 1 second. Note dash, gray, is common. I went to level 1 and asked Lena go and attack. She could only attack slime monster level 1. They drop passive resistance scroll. So, I asked her to attract a slime monster, she nodded and hit the monster. I shot and killed the monster and we started farming the monster for 6 hours, we got 50 skill scrolls. Lena had also leveled up to level 4. She added her points to health, strength and speed, in ratio 2:1:2. She had been chased by a monster so she couldn't get rid of the fear. I could only help her adjust the ratio. After getting to base 2, I will equip her with legendary equipment, which can increase her defense, speed and health. Lena, when you go hunting with Rose Adventures, do they have good drops? I asked. Yes, but I usually attract more monsters so they call me unlucky, said Lena. Does boss monster is also attracted by you? I asked. No, only normal monster, she replied. Okay, I realized that it was not she was a troublemaker, but only those monsters were attracted to her, which has a high chance to drop loot. As I had been paying attention, the monster she brought, all dropped loot. I looked at her and hugged her in excitement, and said, you are my lucky star. I will give you 2 gold coins from now on every month. Lena blushed when I hugged her, but when heard me, she thought she heard wrong. She asked, you will give me 2 gold coins? I nodded and said, this is only the beginning, when we go to base 2, I will increase the no of gold coins paid to you. Lena was happy, then she looked at me hugging her. I also realized that I shouldn't hug her and then let her go away. I said, I was excited, so don't mind me. Lena glared at me and murmured, idiot. Then to avoid her attention, I could only look around and saw a group of slimes merging, forming a bronze monster. Slime, bronze. HP 200 of 200. MP 10 out of 10. Attack 45. Skill, absorb. IT can absorb mana from the targeted user. The user loses 5 mana. Cooldown, 60 SEC. I asked, Lena, see a boss monster, nobody has seen it, let's hunt it quickly. Remember to use the skill stun, and run towards that big stone, I shouted at her. She nodded and used stun shield skill. After the boss was stunned, she started to run. I then quickly started to shoot, and within a few shots, it died, leaving a pile of things. I looked at the treasure chest for the first time. I had never seen it before. Lena came and looked at the box and said, I have learnt the skills to open the treasure box, which I got by giving the AR. I was speechless at her luck and asked her to open the chest. She opened the chest box and the following items came out. Skill scroll, orange * 1. Silver, 5 coins. Title scroll * 2. Slimy liquid * 20. Slimy liquid, green, * 20. I gave her the skill scroll, silver coins and title scroll * 1. She looked at me dazed. As that was the legendary skill and I gave her like this made her emotionally unstable and couldn't help thinking of the time when she went on adventure. Everyone had learnt the skills, the monster dropped and she was ignored. No, looking at the person in front of her, she had mixed emotions, so she said, why you don't want this skill, it's a legendary skill, you give like that. Seeing her, I hurriedly explained to her, you are the core member of the team, with this skill you will not have to worry about any control skills, this skill is more suited for you. Remember, we are a team, our lives in each other's hands, I reminded her. She knew if anyone in her team would see the scroll they would learn without hesitation. Caring for other teammates comes later. But Robin is the opposite, he gives his back to protect his partner. She remembered the contract in that she didn't have to do anything except betray. After that, she opened and showed the status of the skill. Resistance, orange, resist all types of control skills of level above 5 levels and below. After that, she learned the skill and she was going to learn the title. I stopped her. I said, if you believe me then keep the title skills, when we complete the dungeon maybe the title can be fused. Lena kept her title skill in the space bag, then I took the alchemy material, she didn't say anything. I thought of a slime monster that slowly erodes clothing. Thinking of that, would I become the nemesis of females? Should I keep the name of the novel, Female Nemesis? Thinking of that I smiled. Looking at my smiling face, she blushed and didn't look at me. I was puzzled when I saw this. Then said, let's go, we will celebrate. She nodded her head. I was going to look for a restaurant when I saw a boy the same age as me selling food. I looked at him carefully and saw he was dirty, there were some bruises on his face, maybe he was beaten. I looked at him, his eyes were firm and thought, a boy with a story. The food he was cooking was barbecue. I looked at and saw his cooking skills were top-notch, but there was no customer. Alan was cooking barbecue, the ingredients present were not much, and he was beaten by people every time he couldn't pay. His face had a little dirt, his body was also weak. Some adventurers asked protection fees from the people selling in the stall, so he knew they were his father enemies making things difficult for him. He also knows his sister was cursed by them, but he could only grit his teeth and wait for his strength to grow up. He made very little money. He also had to feed her younger sister who was cursed. If he wanted to treat, he had to get 5 silver coins in the church where Caster cast advanced cure which cures all negative status, curse, and so, he was desperately trying to save money every day to release her sister from the painful curse. Alan, both parents were high-level adventurers. Sometimes when the beast grows in large numbers in a Forbidden Zone, adventure team must go to clean the monster to keep their population to check. His father and mother had offended an adventuring group, which was named Tom's Gang, an adventure group. That was because his father had epic-level weapon dropped in a dungeon, and Tom's gang saw and asked to sell them a weapon for 1 silver coin. His father was furious and he was going to say something when his wife held him back and left. They didn't think they would follow to their house. 6 months ago, while clearing the beast, in the Forbidden Zone, their parents had to participate in it. There was a rule that no one will fight there and they had to sign the contract, but Tom's gang attracted a large group of monsters near Alan's parents and they died. Many people saw this, but nobody came to say anything about it. Tom's gang paid 10 gold coins and bribed the upper 3 embers of the card. So most of the members pay a blind eye to this matter. They also came secretly at night and robbed all their monies and left it under the siblings' eyes. Alan went to the council for investigation of the matter, but the member of the court said, "You have offended someone of high level." And he threw the appeal letter in trash can. Facing such a situation, Alan's mind became matured at that moment. He looked at the people present and asked, "Sir, can you tell me the name of the person whom I offended?" The officer looked playfully and said, "It's not a big deal, many people know him. He is the city lord's brother Tom. His adventures team name is Tom's Gang." Alan walked out of the office with despair on his face. He knew now he had to think, how to survive, and vowed to become strong and take revenge on all those people. He knew his parents were honest people who helped many persons, some of them were from big adventure guild. He decided to look for the next and see if can get any help. Alan went from one guild to another, but he wasn't allowed to enter the door. The people who saw him didn't help. They would show him the cold eye, looked at him with disgust. Alan felt as he was an eyesore. Sometimes the leader of some guild would come out and say, "Isn't it, Alan? Here, have this copper coin, boy, work hard, live a good life. Don't be like your father." Alan gritted his teeth and took the money. In this way he had gathered all amounts to at least open food stalls and sell food for some money. He remembered at home when he used to cook for his family, they said, "Alan, your cooking skills are top quality, open a restaurant, it will work well." Remembering that time, his eyes were filled with tears, but he didn't cry. He held the tear back and started to think of opening an OD stall where he can earn money. He successfully opened but saw no one was buying his dish, so he would go home and finish the dish with his sister. She said, "Brother, don't work so hard, I don't feel pain," saying that she smiled. If you look closely, there were blisters every place on the body. It was getting serious. Alan knew that he and his sister has only 2 months to live and he has to earn enough money for treatment before that. Himself, where had he done wrong? God, why are you making me go through all this? He shook all other thoughts from his mind and said, "Don't worry, sis, I am fine, I will help you cure the curse." I walked towards the stall, Lena simply followed me. I looked at Alan and asked, "Hello there, how much do you sell the barbecue?" 2 sticks for 1 copper, Alan replied. I saw the next stall price that was selling for 2 copper for 1 stick. I tasted the barbecue, and I decided to hire him. As Lena eats more food, so I decided to hire him as a chef. "Hello sir, can you tell me your name?" I asked. "Alan," he said after hesitating sometimes. "Alan, I would like to hire you as my chef for 1 gold coin, for now, if the quality of food is increased then I will pay you more," I said, showing a sunny smile. Alan was stunned, and he said, "Are you sure you want to hire me for 1 gold coin?" Alan had finally seen the light when he was in darkness, but soon he hesitated for a moment and then began to tell his story. I looked at him and smiled and said, I don't have the power to help you get revenge, but I promise you as long as you become my chef I will help you when I have the power in future. If you don't have any problems we can set the contract for a month, I said. Alan nodded his head. He said, please, as long as you can help my sister get rid of her curse, I will follow you. I shook my head and said, I want a chef and a partner, who can fight side by side me. So I would like to agree to my request to join my adventures team. Alan looked at me and said, okay, state your terms and conditions. I soon wrote the contract in which we will bring our ingredients and Alan will be responsible for cooking and his salary is 1 gold a month. In addition, if we want to eat extra time then he had the right to charge a maximum of 1 silver coin, which may increase over time. And the last but the most important point, please don't betray your team members. Alan looked at the condition and he was surprised to see such a simple contract. He once again asked me, are you sure? I nodded and said, I am sure. Can you tell me how much time limit to be set? Alan said, lifetime. After the contract was signed, it flew inside our bodies. Then I asked Alan to make more barbecues. Wait, I bought 2 sticks for myself and I ate only 1 piece. Where did my other piece go? I turned around and saw Lena, eating at a very fast speed. When she saw me she hurriedly ate the barbecue on her plate and started chewing. I asked her, have you seen anyone who took my barbecue? She pretended to not listen to me and kept eating the food. I knew she stole the food, so I looked at Alan. Hopefully he could make barbecue fast. After eating the food, we were very satisfied. Then I said, Alan, if you take your sister to the priest for healing her, many people will recognize you, so I can rent a hut where you can live with your sister. Alan also knew the problem and said, okay, I will leave Lisa to you. Well was the cloak so as not be recognized. We 3 all wore the black cloak, which kept our identity hidden, except for level and health all were hidden. Alan's home was in bad condition, many things were broken. He had to hide and live inside the basement, as all other things had been destroyed. Alan went near the door of the basement, and he knocked on the door 3 times and repeated this rhythm 5 times. Soon the door was opened and a girl who looked 6 years old called, Alan, you are back. Alan nodded and said, these 2 are the people who will help us. He didn't explain much to Lisa and said, we are moving out of the house. Lisa didn't say much. During these days of living in pain, her thinking had matured. She also knows no one wants to help them. Unless Alan promised the contract. She looked at us and said, what conditions did you give Alan to follow you? Give up his contract. I will follow you. I serve you guys, cleaning, washing, cooking. Alan will help me. Yes, I am saying give up his contract and wait for Alan. Why are you getting angry? I will release you from the contract. Looking at the lively girl in front of me, we were speechless. Lisa looked at Lena and said, sister, this bad guy forced you to sign the contract, right? I had a black line on my forehead. Lena couldn't help laugh and said, yes, this bad guy forced me to sign the contract, and he always sends me to face the beast alone. She made a pitiful look. Lisa said, bad guy, release the sister from the contract or else I will curse you. I am telling the truth. See, there are blisters, which can be used as a curse. I didn't pay attention to the curse before. Now that I saw it closely, her body was filled with blisters all over her body. So I went near her. Lisa was nervous when she saw coming me near her. I looked at the nervous Lisa and said, come and curse me, I will release from the contract. Then I went near her and hugged her. Lisa was at a loss. Are you not afraid of the curse? I looked at her and said, well, stop acting now, let's go of the loneliness, you can cry to your heart content. Lisa cried for a long time, and then she fell asleep. Looking at her I felt it was full of sympathy. At her age, many children let go of the worry and play, and here she had to live inside a darkroom in fear. She had no one to accompany her as Alan had to go out and work. Anyone living like this will go sane, yet she still had a cheerful expression. Think about it, if you were in her situation, what would you do? I swore and decided to take revenge most cruelly. I would always make them live in fear. I am not a saint either, but now he is my teammate. If I can't get rid of his problem, how can I face him? Alan, who saw this, also started crying. After crying for a while he stopped and then once again said, I will never betray you. I showed the sunny smile, and said, let go of the past, we will come back and take revenge in the future. Then I looked at Lisa and murmured, sleep well, little guy, after you wake up you will be free from the curse. Then I wrapped her in cloth and brought her to church. The priest who came to heal was a middle-aged man and, he cast the advanced healing spell. A dark skull like a shadow came out of Lisa and then it was destroyed. Lisa's body soon started to heal and all the blisters were gone, the skin looked new, and if I wouldn't have seen it with my own eyes, I would never believe that she was cursed. Then I said, Alan, have you awakened any talent? Alan shook his head and said, I was busy earning money, I didn't have enough money to awaken the talent. Then I said, let's go and awaken the talent. While wearing a cloak we came inside the awakening building, soon Alan Chance came. He came near the awakening crystal and then followed the procedure. He was surrounded by holy light, and he had a cross in his hand. The aura given by the cross was, red. The most sacred level of profession was born. There was the vision of a cross appearing in the sky. I looked at the scene speechless. Hey, I wanted to be a low-key person, but why all the people following me are so talented? The vision made by Alan made many people rush towards the awakening building. The rare grade in this way. Gray, common. Green uncommon. Blue rare. Purple epic. Orange legendary. Pink ancient. Red sacred. After that, the people handling the procedure saw this scene. He hurriedly asked them to show his face. He didn't want to, but he was level 1 at the moment, so his cloak was easily taken off. When people saw it was Alan who awakened the sacred talent. The people who had mocked became pig liver. They just wanted to get rid of him now. They were all filled with fear. In City Lord Resident, Tom was enjoying his food with his brother. A messenger came and said, "Boss, it is not good, a big trouble is going to come." Everyone in the room was puzzled what trouble could they get into and asked him to say the words fast. The messenger said, "Our city awake the sacred talent of the priest." Everyone was puzzled. Isn't it a good thing to have been born by base 1? The city lord can get permission and get an official position anywhere. They would also have a chance to enter the holy city, where it is said that the drops dropped by the monster are orange, pink and lastly red. But each person can hunt only one monster there. The monster is also hard to kill. But if you can get any one of the orange drops, then you can become the top powerhouse, at least at base 1. If you get sacred equipment, then you can leapfrog and challenge the person 10 levels above you, who wears common equipment. But the next moment the messenger said, "Boss, the person who awakened the talent is Alan." "Alan? Which Alan? Tell everything clearly." "I don't remember him," said Tom. The messenger narrated the things done, made the faces of everyone serious. They knew they were done. This time the officer will come to recruit Alan. The faces of everyone was pale. They hurriedly went to the awakening guild. Alan was surrounded by many people. Soon the transmission channel, which was covered in dust, lit up and many guilds came to recruit him. Even the Pope asked him to join the church. He will instantly make him his close disciple and make him the next Pope. Faced with such temptations, who will not waver? His mind also fluctuated. But he was looking for me. My figure looked very small between those people. It was like ants surrounded elephants. I looked at Lena and said, "Lena shall greet our new teammate, he seems to be looking for us." Looking at my smiling face, Lena had the urge to beat me. She couldn't help say, "Several people are offering sacred equipment, what do you have to offer?" "Well, I will answer you there, saying that we walked towards Alan. It was too crowded, but with the flow of the crowd, we were squeezed to the front. I showed my sunny smile to Alan. I asked him, "Now you have your opportunity to fly in the sky, you can hug anyone's thigh, I will not stop you, whatever decision you make I will respect your choice." The people looked at me with gloating expressions. In the crowd, the blacksmith was standing in the front row and watching the scene with interest. The most important thing was that if you look closely, he and his child stood there and no powerful man could push him. Within 30 centimeters from him, no people could approach him. You can imagine how powerful would this person would be, as all the people who surrounded him were from LVL 80, LVL 100. Note, transmission stone can be used to transfer from one place to another, but you need to use 10 cores of orange level monster. It's too costly, most people can't afford it. Alan began to think about the offers. He was tempted. One was giving him enough resources to train him to the peak of the life, while the other person he met for a day, he helped him and asked to sign the contract in which 1 gold coin was given as the salary, and he gave his word to help him get his revenge. The question he was tangled with for a long time, as you know, revenge was the most he wanted now. And now those people could easily grant him his wish. But soon he remembered when there was no one, he could generously pay him food just to be a chef. He remembered his father's teaching, "Son, you must remember, the person who values the most when you're useless, you must follow him because he will treat you like kin. Remember, you must follow him or else you will regret it in future." Alan didn't understand the words of his father. That time, when he would ask the reason, his father would say, "When the times come you will understand." Looking at the situation in front of him, he understood what his father meant, and he couldn't be surprised. He came to the conclusion father knew this day will come. That means father was so powerful at that time, he could tell him about his future. He couldn't help think that his father was still alive. If he was so powerful, then why let me follow Robin? Alan looked at me with expression and said, "Hey boss, when will you give me a salary?" I was stunned and looked at him and asked, "Are you sure you want to be my chef?" Thinking of the food, my mouth started drooling. Lena, standing by my side, also said, "Hey, me too, don't forget me." Seeing the scene, the crowd was speechless. They were looking at us and 1,000 horses we galloping in their heart. A sacred level talent was recruited for 1 gold coin for the chef. My people said, "Join us, boy, we will give you 1,000 platinum coins." Seeing this scene, I was speechless and said, "You guys, stop poaching my teammate in front of me, and you idiot, if you want to poach other people you have to do it in secret, then I can easily take his 1,000 platinum coins." Oh, I said too much. I looked at the other peoples and said, "I know I look handsome, please don't look at me with those eyes, I will become shy." Hearing my voice, the people had an urge to vomit blood. So they could only walk away with gloating expressions. Only a few people were left there. They sent me various offers, but I refused them all and looked at the platinum coins with droll on my face, tried to make my face good, and said, "I will not sell my teammate, you can go." Then I looked at the platinum coins disappearing in front of my eyes. They showed gloating expressions. I could only look away. Then I saw the blacksmith waiting with his child. I went to him and said, "Hello mister, we meet again." "Hello, this is the next time we meet, unexpectedly you got a sacred talent in your team," he said. I nodded and said, "Sir, if you are free, come join us, we are celebrating and are short of people." He looked at his child, who was looking at us with a curious expression on his face, and said, "Okay." Then I walked towards my hut while shopping for the ingredients along the way. I bought a lot of them, and looked at the blacksmith and asked, "Sir, do you drink liquor?" He said, "No, I don't drink." I said, "Sir, after eating I will make a drink for you, it will be a sour drink, you will like it." He laughed and said okay, while Alan and Lena also looked curiously at me. I could only say, "Don't look at me like that, I will treat you the drink, you will like it." Then I said, "Sir, my name is Robin, her name is Lena, shield warrior, and he is Alan, priest and chef, and this cute little girl is Lisa." "Sir, who are you, and what is your child's name?" I asked. He said, "Richard is my name, and my son name is Aaron." By the time we finished the introduction ourselves, we had already reached my hut. I welcomed them inside. They came and looked at my small bedroom and I laughed awkwardly. Everyone came inside my house and people sat on the bed and chairs. I led Alan towards the kitchen, it was enough big to cook with big utensils. Alan started to cook, I would help him from time to time, while the blacksmith sat and looked at us with a curious expression. Lena took the 2 guys into her room, they were Alan's sister Lisa and the blacksmith's son, Aaron. I said, "I will call you when the food is cooked, you play with these little guys." After we 3 were in the room, so I asked, "Mr. Richard, can you tell us your story, as I sense you must be very powerful?" He asked, "How did you know?" I said, "I saw you in the crowd, only you were relaxed with your child whereas other people were constantly pushing each other." He laughed and said, "Now it's better to not know, enjoy yourself and become stronger, when you are strong enough come to me, I will tell you where we came from." I nodded my head and took some sour fruits, a little salt and some spice. Then I said, "Wait for a while, I will prepare the juice." I used my card space, then used my upgrade card option, and soon knew I upgraded the fruits to the purple card. Fruits, purple. Can be used to eat directly or used as a juice. Drink or eat the first time to add some HP, permanently gain 100 HP and gain buff recovery, mana regeneration 20 MP per SEC, for 1 hour. The food had also been prepared. It took almost an hour. I called Lena, Lisa and Aaron to visit us. The food was placed on the table and then everyone started to eat. The food made by Alan was very delicious and we had a nice lunch. We ate the food and talked with each other. Richard also enjoyed this atmosphere, and after eating, he made a request, "Can I become a member of your adventure guild?" This was an unexpected question. I couldn't answer his questions, because we don't have the same status. So I thought for a while and said, "Okay, but you can only be the vice president of our guild and will help us only when our guild is in danger of being extinct." He looked at me thoughtfully and then said, "Okay, how much salary do I get?" I said, "For now 3 gold coins, as our strength increases, we will increase the salary, but it will take some time." He nodded his head and said, "Write the contract now." I could only write the contract, and after it was done, it turned into light and flew inside our bodies. Lena said, "Hey, you said you will treat us with drink, why haven't I seen till now?" "I almost forgot, if you don't remind me," I said. Then I placed the drink in everyone's glass and said 1 glass each for everyone. Lena couldn't say stingy. Then everyone drank the drink. The taste of the drink was like little spicy, little salty, and sweet and sour. We soon felt warm current flowing in our bodies and felt our vitality becoming stronger, and soon our spirit began to feel refreshed. Richard was shocked to see the changes after the drink. He knows there are some spiritual plants and animals, which is said to be a great tonic for human bodies. These are some outside factors, that increases the strength without any side effects. He was considered to have seen many people buy that food, even he was envious of it. As any of this material can be sold for 1,000 platinum coins. He was considered high level but he couldn't afford such a big sum of money to enjoy the luxury of eating spiritual fruit. Here in base level 1 he just joined and gained 100 horsepower points. If you say then people will fight with you like your health increase by 3 levels. How crazy would be it? Lena looked at me and said, one more glass of juice, and they all looked at me with exceptions, but I shook my head and refused them. Lena said, cut stingy. Richard saw and said, he is not stingy, it does not affect you all, it's one type of use which strengthens any one or more than attributes permanently. You can check your status. And what he fed you was the drink made of more than 1,000 platinum coins minimum, that is called elixir. Very few people in the world can get one and you said him stingy. Hearing Richard's words everyone's expression froze. Lena looked at the thought that was 1,000 platinum coins, that is enough to buy many things and live life leisurely. The same was for Alan, 1,000 platinum coins were the salary the guild paying him to join the adventures group. As for Lisa and Aaron said, big brother if you make delicious things in the future don't forget us both. I laughed and said, we are of the same guild so no problems. Looking at my sunny smile most of the people looked with complicated emotions. I said, from today onwards the guild named Fairy Tale officially exist, I am the president, Richard is the vice president, Lena, Alan, Lisa and Aaron are the members of the group. This place will be our home, and its name will resound in all directions. Lena said, hey what about me, I want to become elder or something. I ignored her and then decided to say the first and the most important decisions. I said, the guild will only accept people with good hearts, even if they don't have talent I have no problem but the person must have a good heart. Not many people will be selected by us, only the fated members whom we can meet by fate can only become the members of the guild. We bought a piece of equipment set for Alan, he was also happy to get a rare set of equipment. Then we went inside the dungeon to level 5. The monster here was elemental, their HP is low and damage is high. With my one shot, I could easily harvest their lives. The tactics were, Lena will attract the monster, I will be the main attacker and Alan will cast cure when Lena HP was low. So, soon Lena would bring a monster while I would kill, gaining huge experience. This type of monster is said to be dangerous due to high damage, and lucky as you can get many drops from this monster, especially skill scroll, alchemy ingredients, and in rare cases elemental cores, which can be used as bombs to do high damage to a group of enemies. The efficiency of killing monsters was great and soon we killed 500 monsters in 2 hours. A bronze elemental was born. I checked the elemental status. Elemental monster LV5, bronze. Health 600 of 600. Mana 200 out of 200. Attack, 80. Skills, Elemental Clone, summon the clone with half the combat power of the main body. Mana cost, 50. Cooldown, 90 SEC, Fireball, takes 3 seconds to cast a huge fireball. Has splash effect, can do content damage on impact within 2 meter diameter. Mana cost, 20. Cooldown, 60 SEC. I looked at monster information and said, Lena I will attack the main monster and soon it will summon the clone, I will kill the clone within 15 seconds. You just need to use stun, the target, when he use fireball. Alan, you will heal Lena when her HP goes down. Okay, let's start hunting. We started the hunt and it was an easy victory. The monster dropped. Title scroll *3. Sliver *10. Elemental dust *20. Elemental dust, green, *5. Elemental core, green, *1. Elemental core, green, it's formed due to a high concentration of elements. Throw it do damage within 3 meters 500 damage and does additional burn damage of 100 for 10 SEC, can be fused by an alchemist with arrows to make an elemental bomb. Seeing the attributes of the elemental core, I looked at it as a real treasure. I was thinking if I combined it with quiver will it produce exploding. Then I would start my bomb archer profession, anyway we need to experiment with it. If the experiment was successful then we can easily kill monsters in a group and our experience increase sharply. As the level increases the experience required to level up also increases until now I have not yet reached level 10, while Lena increased by 2 levels and she became level 6, Alan also leveled to level 4. I said, let's continue hunting the elemental monster today. They had no opinion and in this way we hunted for another 4 hours, we also killed almost 800 monsters when a boss was born, with status. Elemental monster LV5, Sliver. Health 1000 of 1000. Mana 500 of 500. Attack 150. Skills, Elemental Clone, summon the clone with half the combat power of the main body. Mana cost, 100. Cooldown, 80 SEC, Fireball, takes 5 seconds to cast a huge fireball. Has splash effect, can do content damage on impact within 5 meter diameter. Mana cost, 50. Cooldown, 60 SEC, seeing the monster attributes, we knew that we couldn't kill it, while we were going to give up. Lena said, why don't we use Elemental Core, it has great power. I was trying to save it for my use, yet this little prodigal lady had to come with such an idea. As we were in the team, so, I nodded and said, Lena, and you go a little farther away, so as not to be impacted by the explosion. After saying that, I moved towards the elemental monster, took the core, and when it was 8 meters away from me, I threw the core towards it. Then I ran back without hesitation. The core landed near the elemental monster and then boom, the damage done to the boss monster was 400 damage and burn damage was 90 per second. The monster roared and started chasing in my direction. I started to run faster and took out a HP potion, to use it at any time. The monster speed was fast, it almost caught up with me, it wanted to cast spell burn but was interrupted by burn damage. Its HP was dropping rapidly, 600,510,420. 0, when it turned to 0 it disappeared into thin air and left behind a silver chest. The moment created by us were huge, so many adventurers had come and surrounded us, they wanted to loot our treasure. So I asked and said, friends who can open the treasure box can take the treasure away, but if you can't open you must leave, also please pay 1 gold coin for trying to open the box here. So friends please line up, and Lena, Alan, where are you, come here. Hearing I called out Alan's name, there was a great discussion in the crowd. Alan, which Alan's? Alan, who awakened sacred level talent. Hearing Alan's name, most of the people who were going to make trouble gradually moved away. And there were many teams lined up to start opening the silver chest. Some guild members sent multiple people to open the chest. Soon the people came, but no one could open the silver chest. The money collected from these guilds has already reached 1,000 gold coins. Seeing that no one could open the chest, the crowd gradually lost interest and began to disappear. The last one to come was Rose Guild. Seeing them I asked, come and try to open the silver chest for 1 gold coin each. Looking at my smiling face, Tina was speechless. She couldn't help think he pitted everyone's gold coins, and she said, hey, can we cooperate again, I want to buy the contents inside the box. I asked, how do you know? I have the way to open the chest. She said, intuition. Well miss, before cooperation let me ask you a question. I found a silver chest, dropped from the monster, would you like to share them with others? She was speechless and said, can you at least let us look at the content of the box? I thought for a while and said, miss, what are you going to pay for seeing the contents inside the box? She looked at me and had a grievance in her heart and said, making a pitiful look, couldn't you let us, beautiful lady, see the contents inside for free? I looked at her and said, your beauty can't be praised by wearing clothes, take them down, I will appreciate your beauty nicely and closely, what do you say? After saying I made hooligans play looking her body from up to down. Tina, her guild members almost shouted in unison and said, shameless people. I said, I am indeed a shameless person, but what about it, you all want to see the contents of my box, dream on, you need to pay 50 gold coins, if not you can leave. I have already wasted 2 minutes talking nonsense, if you don't pay just leave. Hearing my conditions, the girl in the guilds were almost choked in anger. Their faces were red. Tina took a deep breath and finally took out the gold coins and gave them to me. I showed my white teeth and the sunny smile and said, like in a gentleman manner, please wait, well, we'll soon open the treasure chest. The rest of you, are you all going to give 50 gold coins, then you are allowed to stay. Then I made a cold face and said, what are you poor people looking here, no money, still want to see the show, get lost and don't affect my business. As inside dungeon, you can attack other players. These people didn't want to stay here anymore, or else they vomit blood just due to anger. All the people went away, and then I asked Rose team members to follow me. Lena comes here and opens the box, I said. Okay, but the cost of opening the box is 50 gold coins, she said. Her eyes had almost become dollar-shaped. I said, okay, you open the box, today Alan is going to make the treat. She was happy and she began to unlock the chest. While Tina and the Rose group members froze and looked at Lena surprised. Anyone in the guild knows her deed, so she was the worst player in the guild, now she had the legendary skill to open the chest. Even if she didn't fight, people would still come to her, as long as she announced her talent. She could earn more than 1,000 diamond coins or even platinum coins were possible just by opening the box. Tina was full of regret and looked at me with a hateful expression. She said, release her contract, we want to come back to our guild. I looked at her playfully and said, Lena, some people are asking you to go back to your guild. Lena looked at everyone's expression and said, I am sorry, my contract is lifetime and I can never leave the guild. Well, you heard her. Lena, you asked 50 gold coins to take revenge, right? I said, and rubbed salts on their wound. The people of Rose Guild looked at Lena and said, you are ungrateful, Lena. We helped you to level up 1 level, and also you lived with us for 1 month, the leader paid all that, you just left us like this. Lena looked at them with an angry expression and said, when I added points according to my wish, you all looked at me like idiots and discarded me without hesitation. While farming monster, there were some warrior skill books, but you used them and didn't give anyone to me. You used to eat in a good restaurant while I was brought for 2 silver coins to eat and live with that. Then Lena pointed towards me and said, when I was discarded by the leader, he took me in and hired me for 2 gold coins, that time I was treated like garbage by any guild. He bought me all the rare sets that I wearing without hesitation. There was also a legendary skill scroll dropped from the monster that he gave me without hesitation. If you think you can take me away, then you dream on. I will not join another guild because here Alan cooks delicious meal and leader bring delicious drink. I heard her story, thought of sympathy for her, but when I heard the last sentence I couldn't help think this girl came here to eat food. I couldn't help sweating and asked, Lena, if another guild comes to you with a better chef and drink, will you leave us? Lena's face became weird and she said, no, how could I leave in the temptations of food? People here treated me like a family, so I won't leave, leader, you can rest assured. By the way, leader, why are you sweating like rain? I laughed awkwardly and said, the temperature is a little hot. The people from Tina Guild looked at me with mixed expressions as if looking at an idiot and couldn't help complain, the legendary scroll was given to her who don't know to fight. I said, whomever I give the scroll, what it has to do with your guild. Lena opens the chest fast, make these people go away from us, I said. Lena opened the treasure chest and soon the items came out were as follows. Gold coin *5. Elemental core, blue, *2. Skill scroll fireball, purple, *1. Priest staff, blue, *1. Elemental dust, green, *20. Elemental dust, blue, *4. Seeing the rich rewards, the member of the Rose team said, leader, that is a purple skill book, if we have them then we don't need him to escort us out, and our combat power will increase sharply. Seeing the benefits, Tina also understood that they had broken up with Lena and the relationship between them cannot be patched up, so she decided to break it completely. Robin gives us the skill book fireball, I will release the contract and pay you 10 gold coins and we will never look for you or Lena ever, said Tina. I nodded and said, okay, then release the contract, and pay first, after that I will give you the scroll. Tina was surprised to see me readily agree, but didn't think much and soon released the contract and paid me 10 gold coins and I gave them scroll. Then I looked at her and I smiled and said, goodbye, hope you will never toy harass Lena in future or else I will find any to destroy your guild, so please ask your members to keep their mouth tight. Seeing my smiling face and saying as destroying the guild as it was a common thing for me, the people looked at me with great fear. I was satisfied with their look, and when I saw that Alan and Lena were also standing far away from me, I asked, why are you two standing far away from me? Lena said, leader, to make you look more like a villain we decided to stay far away from you. Hey Alan, answer him. I looked at the quiet Alan, then said, Alan, you are quiet all day long, why don't you speak, or are you shy looking at those girls? Alan was speechless and said, talking with an idiot is meaningless. I looked at Rose Guild and said, hey, my partner also think, talking with you will make us an idiot, so please go away. Then Alan and Lisa moved a little farther away from me and Lena said, hey, do you think that it was the right choice to follow him? Alan also couldn't help nod his head in agreement. We returned to our residence. Richard was taking care of Aaron and Lisa. Then Alan and Lena told the things that happened in the dungeon. Richard sighed and said, you both are still kids, compared to your leader. Don't think of his shameless behavior, he not only earned more than 1,000 gold coins, but he also avoided the trouble for you. Do you think with Alan's talent people will be scared and they will let you take away all the contents of the box freely? If Alan had grown strong then they would fear him, but he is still not strong enough. Any high-level person from this base can easily kill him. A dead genius is useless, no matter how high your talent is. If you are dead then it's useless. Again you said that. Why did Robin threaten Rose Guild? Do you think they will leave you? Humans are emotional creatures, emotion rules them. Your previous guild members will send people to meet you secretly, and some people will use emotional tricks on you to get benefits from you, then they will say you are a very good person, and if you don't help you will become a bad person in their eyes. Think of it, what would you do when those people keep on coming to you? So to avoid future trouble he had to say those words. Don't look at his sunny smile, it's the disguise he uses to fool the enemies. While Richard was explaining the reasons for my actions I was busy inside my closed hut combining the card and doing an experiment. With Lena's luck present I got many drops from the monster. The no of copper coins were at least 10,000, skill scrolls of elemental resistance was up to 50, common elemental cores were *50. This was all the drops. Then I counted the gold coins has reached up to 1,000. I decided to split the gold coin. I went to the door and when they saw me coming Alan and Lisa looked at me with respect. I looked at them and said, I know I am handsome, you don't have to stare at me like that. They were speechless, they had thought of complimenting me, but now looking at a theme like this they decided not to say any more to me. I looked at the scene puzzled and thought of asking Richard. But though it's troublesome to ask him it's better to reward them and then experiment with my idea. I took out a gold coin and said, today we had first profit so, we will divide equally. I then gave 200 gold coins to Richard, 150 gold coins to Alan and Lena and finally said, remember to keep the gold coin now, maybe in base 2 you can buy something more expensive. I don't know it's true or not but in base 2 people like to buy pets, and they also level up as you fight. And we don't know when beast will come and attack the people, so go and buy food, water, bows, arrows and try to use to spend at least 50 gold coins on it. And after you have bought bring me the space bag at least 35 each of you, I will surprise you later. Now busy yourself, said I. Then I said, Mr. Richard you must have contracted the spirit beast. He looked at me and said, I don't have a contract spirit beast. A trace of loneliness flashed his eyes and I saw it. I asked, can spirit beast be revived? He thought for a while and said, when you clear a forbidden land then you get a crystal drops known as reviving crystal, which can revive the beast, but their level will fall and your affection with the beast will drop to a very low level. I asked, is the revived crystal is divided into categories such as rare or epic grade? Yes it also drops, rare crystal but the chances are very low. The effect of using sacred grade crystal can revive the beast to the strongest level, it retains its memories so there is no loss of affection. It is also said that if you can revive a beast with sacred grade crystal then your beast will be promoted to the sacred level. You have heard the news right, the people do have contracted spirit beast but only when you reach base 3. I looked at Alan and Lena and said, your luck is very good you can spend money on what you want to buy, but remember to go with Richard, many people will try to kidnap you and kill you in the forbidden zone so, be alert. I then hurriedly walked outside, and went to buy necessary things such as equipment, then arrow quiver and look for skills. I also bought 64 space bags for 2 silver 30 copper coins. Then I went to the auction house. But I decided to cover myself with a cloak to keep my identity hidden. The auction house was huge and I went inside near the receptionist desk and said, hello beautiful, can you introduce me to someone I want to buy a large amount of equipment? The receptionist looked and saw a cloaked man. Then she heard his request and said, how many gold coins can you spend? I said, probably 100 gold coins. Saying that I took out piles of coins. She didn't neglect and said, sir I trust you don't take out the coins, I will introduce you to our seller. Saying that she asked me to sit and she soon called the seller. I asked the person that I want to buy a level 10 archer, 32 sets. How much do you want to charge? The person looked at me and said, each set can be bought for 10 gold coins, so it will cost 320 gold coins and you can pay 300 gold coins to me. I looked at him and said, are you sure you are telling the truth or I can go to another auction house, they will give me the correct price. Hearing my words he became nervous and soon he said, guessed it cost 160 gold coins. I thought fuck, if you want to cheat how can you cheat so much? I didn't think much when he quoted his price, I wanted to act cool who knew that by pretending I found out the truth. Then I thought I was wearing the cloak, he can't recognize me so I can blackmail him. Then I pretended to be angry and said, this is how you sell the equipment, I am going to tell your manager about you. He hurriedly stopped me and said, guest please spare me this time, I won't do it again. Again you meant to cheat other people before me, I must tell everyone about the reputation of your auction house, I said. He became more panicked and said, guest please wait, you don't need to pay for the equipment. I don't need this equipment I will say you cheat common people by selling at an expensive price, but I can also close my mouth if you pay me 20 diamond coins. Hearing my request he said, impossible I had saved up to 50 diamond coins till now. Now the price had increased to 30 diamond coins, think about it you can earn again as long as you are cautious, but if I tell the head then you can't even keep 50 diamond coins. If I go and said that the salesman keeps 50 diamond coins with him, think how many thieves will be interested in you, I started blackmailing him. He hurriedly handed me 30 diamond coins and said, inside the space bag the equipment has been placed. I looked and checked the equipment one by one and after I was satisfied and put it in the space bag and said, remember to not cheat people or else some will cheat back to you, so do honest work from now on, I took your money to avoid you greed to be grown to the point where you can't control yourself and increase the price so much that you will offend a great man that time, you can't save yourself, he will ask to execute you, so didn't I saved your life? The people nowadays have become so greedy that they can't even donate their money happily, I sighed. Hearing my words, the man realized he really can't control. If it kept on like this then he would really be killed, and then looked at me and said, "Please sir, keep these 15 diamond coins for saving the life. I won't cheat people again. 5 diamond coins is enough to live my life happily with my family." "Thank you." He bowed to me. I looked at him surprised and thought, should I come to the auction house from time to blackmail, and then shook my head. I then said, "You have understood the lesson, my friend. Next time I come to the auction house I will bring the treasure to sell it." After that I walked out of the auction house satisfied. The receptionist said, "Don't we ask anyone to follow him?" He shook his head and said, "Don't bother him, he is a wise man, it's great not to offend him." While I was walking out, I remembered that I blackmailed the first time and I succeeded. I couldn't believe myself. I went to the auction house. They not only provided me with free equipment but I also blackmailed his money, then preached to him, and as Thanksgiving, he donated me 15 diamond coins. It seems people have changed. Leaving the thought aside, I was happy that now I can finally craft legendary grade equipment, props, scrolls, etc. I thought I need to defeat at least the Forbidden Zone boss to upgrade to legendary, but now it seems that it is not the case. You only have to reach the required level and the higher grades card upgrade will unlock, such as above purple was orange, pink and red. Now orange cards have been unlocked. I then went to the shop where the archer quiver was sold. I looked at different types of quivers. They were penetrating quiver, defense breaker, both of which cost 2 silver coins. I bought 100 each for 2 gold coins. I walked towards the center and shouted, "Buying passive skills, for 50 silver coins, will buys as many as you guys bring." The people hurriedly stopped near me and said, "I have a basic scroll of archer, do you sell for 50 silver coins?" In reality only 5 silver coins it sold. I said, "I am a rich person, I want to squander money, came and sell me, why talk nonsense?" The people immediately surrounded me and came with the scroll. I said, "Please be line, and you must remember now I am only collecting passive skills." Some people went to find their guildmates to sell their skill scrolls. As walking outside the Forbidden Zone only a few people dare to go, so most of the people lived their life killing the dungeon monster. So, soon I had scrolls filling my space. I waited until the last person came, and then I realized that my space bag was already full of spells. Now all that was needed was to go to the home and sort the spell out according to their type. I bought a scroll for almost 5 diamond coins. I reached my hut, I saw no one was there. I went inside and put the sign, "Do not disturb or else you need to pay 100 gold coins." Then I started with combining equipment. Combining purple items was done with ease. Now was time to combine 2 purple cards into an orange card. I tried to combine it, the result was the mana was leaving out my body at rapid speed. I had a total of 200 MP points after reaching level 10 and also 50 free attributes points. I added the points in mana. Soon my attributes points were almost used up, and as it turned 0, the fusion completed and I saw a new orange card in my hand. I rested for some time and drank some MP potions, purple, LV1, which recovers 150 MP. I consumed the potion and soon started the self-torture training. Although your mind would hurt a little each time when your mana is hollowed out, but seeing the orange card all discomfort went away and all that was left was endless energy to obtain orange cards as soon as possible. It took me 2 days just to make equipment. I came out of my hut, my face was hollowed out, my eyes had dark circles. Lena looked at me and said, "Bad guy, what were you doing inside a closed room alone?" I ignored her comments and asked the people present, "I asked you to bring 64 space bags. Give me that." They all took out the space bag. I took all the space bag and said, "Don't disturb me for few days. Don't go out to practice now. Wait for 3 days minimum and 4 days maximum, after I come out I will take you to power leveling. You can rest these days, otherwise your hard days are going to come." Then I started creepy laughter making Alan and Lena shudders. Then I took a space bag from Richard's hand and went to work. I started crafting space bags first, then later I decided to cast, quiver. It took me 1 day to easily finish crafting the space bags. The space was increased to limit. Space bag, orange. Due to fusion with the Magi, mutations appeared in the space bag which divided it into a grid. Each grid can hold 1 type of item, can stack up to 999. Grid, 100/100. Additional function, automatically pick monster drops, for 1 mana and stores them inside a grid. Passive abilities, 50 HP/MP per SEC regeneration. Additional stats. HP, 500. MP, 300. Add additional main attributes of user by 30 points, if user attributes are same then improve A abilities at random. Looking at the attributes I couldn't help say a legendary item, then I thought of the legendary equipment that I have created. I started to laugh like crazy. Hearing my laughter the people outside were feeling freaked out. Alan said, "It seems leader is going crazy, should we open the door and beat him to come to his sense?" Lena looked at Alan and said, "With a leader's personality, we will have to give coins to him before beating him." "Do you think can we beat the leader, while killing the monster? He didn't even move from his place except for him running while the last silver boss was chasing him," Lena added. Alan sighed and said, "Leader, if you became crazy I will cast immediate recovery after you open the door." Thinking of this he let go of the worry in his heart. Now that space prop was made, I thought of making the quiver, but I hadn't slept past few days and so, I went to sleep. The next day, after sleeping for 14 hours my mind and body felt relaxed and so, I woke and the first thing I did was, combining the elemental core with a normal quiver. I got exploding arrow, I didn't combine it but first went to the bathroom and then I started to think. I have a less elemental core, I can go to the dungeon and hunt monster core at a faster speed. Then I let the thought drift by. Hunting the same low-level monster doesn't suit me. The next thought combines the penetrating quiver card with the defense breaker card and get a new card and keep on upgrading to the legendary level and do fusion with the legendary level elemental core. This possibility can be accepted. And the last thought, first upgrade both cards to legendary level and then combine both the cards and finally with the elemental core. I decided to implement the second method as it was more effective. I then took a bath and went to my room. I started to fuse and soon I got a quiver with a new name. Puncture Quiver, Gray. Attack, 9-18. Passive, has a chance to break the defense by 30% and do double damage. Looking at the above attribute stars appeared. Common grade arrow with passive skill. I thought when I will make a legendary quiver how many skills I will get at that time. Then once again I was lost in the madness of combining first and it came to upgrade it took me 5 hours to do it. I looked at the details of the legendary quiver. Puncture Quiver, orange, arrows, 3000. Extra arrows, 2000. Attack 45-90. Passive, has a chance to break defense by 150% and do triple damage. Passive, eyesight plus 50. Passive, shooting speed increased by 50%. Passive, 75% chance to do critical strike. Passive, add bleeding effect to the target and does 20 bleeding damage per SEC for 15 SEC. Passive, automatically recover 5 arrows per second. Quiver can hold an extra of 2000 arrows. Looking at the attributes my eyes were going to fall out. Fuck, I shouted. The people in Lena hut were speechless. Richard also rented a hut near us and loved us. It was easier for him to protect us. Lena said, "What is that bad boy doing?" While Alan tried to cover his sister's ear, not to learn bad words from the leader. He decided to have a good talk or else he couldn't imagine the scene when his sister would as a cute little girl shouted that F word. He was really afraid. I didn't know the emotions of people next door. After shouting I even wanted to go and challenge every guild but I kept my mind calm, then now I needed to upgrade the elemental core to a legendary level. Once again the boring process started off creating it. If other people would know that I was creating legendary level props or equipment and said in front of them, making a legendary level prop, equipment is a boring process. I was thinking of the reaction of those people. I shook that messy thought and concentrated on the present work. After 2 hours I managed to create a legendary level prop. Elemental core, orange. Throw to deal 5000 damage to enemies. Passive abilities, recovery can be used up to 1000 times and then recover at 1 time use per minute. Can hold extra 500. Passive, elemental change, changes its elemental properties doing damage to any creature. I looked at the properties and I was shocked, the above attributes were against the skies. It had already become god-level equipment. Think about it, every people or monster have an affinity with elements, and now elemental change gives you the status to damage any creatures with anti-elemental abilities. I now just wanted to combine these two and see which card will appear. But I again thought combining 2 legendary cards will hollow out my mana in an instant. I need to make some MP potions of legendary level. So, I opened the door and walked out of my hut. As I was hungry I walked towards Alan's hut. I saw everyone sitting here and then said, "Well, I told you all, I will give you a gift after a few days. Today I am giving you these space bags as a gift." Richard, Alan and Lena all took the gift bag and Lena couldn't help comment, "Leader, you just sent 1 space bag and you asked 64 space bags, are you fooling us?" I became speechless after her speech. Alan also want to know the answer. I shook my head and said, "You are still a child." My age was also 10 years, so you can think of the expression the child makes and say you are still a child to another person. Richard looked at me with joy and his face couldn't help trembling. He listened to Lena's word, he wanted to beat her but knew that I liked her, so the thought was extinguished. Then he calmly said, "Lena, Alan, check your space bag, the leader gifted you." He came near both of them and said, "Don't shout after you hear what I am going to say next or else people will kidnap you guys, even I would not be able to protect you." Listening to Richard's solemn face, both Lena and Alan realized the seriousness of the matter and then hurriedly nodded their head. Seeing this, Richard said, "The leader gave you legendary space bag, which I had only seen one in the conference ceremony that a rich guild leader was boasting of it. Even with my status, I have purple level space prop. You can think of the seriousness of this matter." Both Lisa and Alan froze and looked at the space bag with mixed emotions. Most of them were excited and some were of fear. Then looked at me simultaneously and was going to say something good. I had accepted to listen to their heart-touching words and made a handsome posture as if asking them to praise me of my deeds. Seeing my posture, the words coming out from the trio mouth froze and then ignored me. I could only helplessly sigh, "Hey, can't you praise my beautiful face?" They ignored me even more and looked at me as they don't know me. I could only walk towards the kitchen to eat food. Richard looked at them and said, "Although the space prop is legendary level, it has the common appearance, so no one will recognize it, and you can also sew it somewhere where you can easily reach, like your shirt sleeve, and in this way no one will find out about it." Hearing Richard say this, they finally let go of their worries. After their worries were over, Richard said, "Now that you have large space prop, try to buy food, drink, medicine, clothes, etc. I will also go with you and keep it, as the leader said there is no absolute defense, so we need to be prepared." They didn't worry about anything. While I was coming out, I saw Richard was going out with Lisa, Aaron, Lena and Alan. I asked, "Richard the first, no, I am handsome, you don't need to stay away from me." Richard said, "Leader, you misunderstood, we are going to buy food, clothes, drink, medicine, etc." I looked at him and then took out 11 diamond coins and said, "Use these 10 diamond coins to buy all the necessary materials and buy me HP/MP potions for 1 diamond coin. Here, take my space bag and try to bring it as fast as possible." Looking at me giving 10 diamond coins, they asked, "Hey, when did you earn diamond coins from?" I said, "I blackmailed from the auction house." Hearing my answer, they all looked at me with contempt and made the expression, "Only ghosts will believe you." I said to them, making a serious expression, "I blackmailed the auction house, but I can't tell you about the person because he changed and he also donated me 15 diamond coins." Finally, Lena said, "If don't want to say, don't say." I was speechless, looking at them, and finally sighed and said, "It's a secret, I will not tell you guys." After they went away, I sighed and said to myself, now people don't believe in truth, they believe in secret. Now I decided to rest and reach my peak state, so when then thought of making legendary potions, it shouldn't take much of my mana. I can almost create 6 potions in an hour, so let's keep on making legendary MP potions for the time being. I created 18 bottles of MP potions. Mana potions LV1, orange. Used to recover 1500 mana points instantly. If the mana in your body is full, the rest of mana is stored in your body, and as soon as you consume mana it is restored until the excess mana becomes empty. Cooldown, 00 SEC. I looked at the attributes of the legendary potion and said, really a legendary potion. Although a level 1 potion, its attributes are very high to a beginner. After having finished my work, Richard returned from the market. He handed me the space bag, and he said, "Leader, there is news that you would be interested in." I looked at him and said, "Don't keep me in suspense, hurry up and tell me." The people and all the high-level people in Base 1 and Base 2 have decided to form a team to hunt you all. There are rewards, on all your heads. 100 diamond coins to kill the teams of Fairy Tale. Many people are gossiping about the silver chest, and now they know Lena, she is like a celebrity. Many people invited her to open the treasure chest, but she refused to gain a lot of hatred. So when we leave the base, the war will begin. We are mostly going to fight against all the teams, said Richard with a solemn expression on his face. I looked at his solemn expression and said, let the time come and we will show them who is the hunter and who is the prey. And then I handed 5 diamond coins and said, sweep archer, warrior and priest equipment of level 15 and try to buy them. The amount must reach 32 each. Try to be hidden, don't expose yourself, the people who want to calculate us will be calculated by us. I laughed and said. But Richard was surprised to see the carefree laughter and said, do I need to show my power in front of them? No, Richard, to take care of these people. If I can't crush them and protect my guild members, then how can I be called a leader? I had already given them my words to live happily, so don't worry about them and please help me buy the equipment and try to buy in secret, it must not be exposed. I said. Then I will busy myself and please protect 2 newbies for me. I said and left. I crafted 12 potions more and I had a total of 30 potions. After preparing the potion, I went to rest. As I was tired I fell asleep, and then the next day in the morning when I was at my peak, I tried to relax as much as possible, and after eating breakfast, I started to fuse the cards. As soon as the cards started fusing, my mana started to drop crazily. I kept the MP potion, orange, next to me and started to use it when my mana was going to be 0. My body mana can support fusion for 15 minutes as I was at a low level, so I had to consume an MP potion to support the fusion. The MP potion beside me also started to get less, and when I used the 20th potion the fusion completed. It took me 5 hours to complete the fusion. I didn't have any negative effects as I was using legendary grade MP potion. Now a new card was in my hand. It looked orange-pink color card. Looking at the card in my hand, I was very satisfied and said to myself, the pseudo-ancient grade, this is a new grade between legendary and ancient. Then I thought about the abilities of the card and thought its abilities will be superb, as last time legendary quiver abilities made me shout in excitement. I wanted to look at the card but then said, let's eat the food first, I haven't eaten for almost 5 hours. I went out to Alan's hut and said, give me the food to eat, I am hungry. Alan gave me the food and said, leader, I want to say something. I said, okay. Leader, please don't shout using the F word when you are excited. Now I don't want to imagine the scene where my sister shouts the F word. She will not look cute at all. I nodded my head and said seriously, I will not shout the F word, I will shout the fuck 3 times when I am excited. Alan could only sigh and said, okay leader, you can shout as many times, I will not say you next time. Thank you Alan for understanding me, I feel so touched. I said, making Alan's face black. After eating and chatting with Alan, I walked into my house and closed the doors and then looked at pseudo-legendary ancient status. Puncture blast quiver, orange-pink. Normal arrows, 5000. Attack, 250 to 500. Passive. Ignore defense. Shooting speed increased by 100%. Chance to trigger 75% critical. Recover 5 arrow per second. Can store extra 2000 arrows. Blast arrows, 5000. Attack 2000. Passive. Radius of explosion 5 meters. Does additional burn damage 500 per second for 15 SEC. Recover 5 arrow per second. Can store extra 2000 arrows. Elemental change arrows, 2000. Attack 1000. Passive. Does 200% damage to enemies with the least elemental affinity. Recover 5 arrow per second. Can store extra 1000 arrows. Sniper arrows, 1500. Attack 5000. Passive. Eyesight plus 100. When hitting vital part, chance to instantly kill the enemy. Recover 2 arrow per second. Can store extra 500 arrows. Active skill. Change arrows, consumes 2 MP to change arrows. I looked at the quiver details and shouted fuck 3 times and said, this level equipment, that's so way killing people with good equipment is so hard. Well, we will go to the dungeon to kill the monster after 2 days. As of today now I thought to combine the legendary passive skill. There were a few skills that I got, stealth, accuracy, charge, heal, cure, recovery, the heart of nature. Stealth, orange, LV1. Active skill for archers. Minus 20 mana is consumed to cast the skill and you will become invisible. If you attack the target the stealth disappears, but if the target is dead remain in stealth. Consumes 1 MP per SEC. When shooting an arrow in this mode does 500% damage, and if it hits a critical hit, chance to do 1000% damage to the enemy. Cooldown, 2 minutes. Accuracy/precision, orange, LV1. Passive. Increases the accuracy when shooting arrows by 100% in a range of 50 meters. When using sniper arrows the accuracy increases to 150 meters. Charge, orange, LV1. Active skill warrior. Consumes 20 mana and rushes in a straight line, and when hitting the target does 200% damage and interrupts the target from casting skills. Cooldown, 3 SEC. Heal, orange, LV1. Active skill priest. Heals 200 HP to the target for 4 MP. Heals 500 HP to the target for 6 MP. Cooldown minus 2 SEC. Cure, orange, LV1. Active skill priest. Removes negative status from the target. Cost minus 5 mana. Cooldown minus 3 SEC. Recovery, orange, LV1. Active skill priest. Instantly heal 1500 HP to the target for 10 MP and remove all negative status. Instantly heal 3000 HP to the target for 15 MP and remove all negative status. Heart of Nature, orange. Aura skill. Once activated reserve 150 mana points of user and buffs all people within 5 meters. Buff, 100% increase in health, 50% increase of health regeneration and 50% increase of mana recovery. After transforming the last of skills today day was over and tomorrow I need to go to market and buy an intermediate crystal, which grants me 4 cards. Crystal card, which allows users to scout other people levels and status such as buff. Night vision, can see at night as seeing in day. Spirit, increases the mana recovery speed. Mind attack, can hurt the target mentally, and if the target is 1 level below you, you can make him fool, and if 2 levels below you, you can kill directly. These 4 abilities were the ones that I used. Now they need to be replaced. So I had to go tomorrow. For now, I just wanted to rest. The next day early in the morning I woke up. My spirit was good, and today I was going to give them the legendary scrolls, but decided that those guys must praise me for my handsome appearance and then only I will reward them. I thought, and then let out a smile while Alan and Lena felt chill for no reason. I went to Alan's hut and everyone was present here. I greeted everyone and said, Lena, Alan, you both praise me and I will give you a surprise. Alan and Lena both looked at me and ignored me. I let out a sigh and said, I was going to give you both legendary level scroll, but you missed the chance. I shook my head while I headed inside while Alan, Lena, and Richard froze and then looked at me while I was placing the food on my plate. Alan and Lena looked at each other and then came to me with a smile, and Alan came and said, Boss, you are the most handsome person, countless ladies will fall for you. Boss, you are the true model of every male person. Boss, if I was a girl I would like to become your girlfriend now. Stop talking, I don't want you to praise any more, I said with a grinning expression on my face. Then I took out heal, cure, recovery and heart of nature and gave him and said, follow me and I will make you the strongest priest in the world. These are 4 legendary scrolls: heal, cure, recovery and heart of nature. Lena, Alan and Richard were all stunned and 1,000 horses were galloping in their hearts. They said, these are legendary scrolls, not cabbage which you can buy from streets. I shook my head and said, I gave you these scrolls to learn them, why are you cursing me? I made the nonchalant expression as if I don't care. The people wanted to beat me violently but calmed their anger as I was still their president and I could give them more legendary scrolls in future. Then Lena blinked and came to me and gave a kiss on my cheek and said with a red face, give me the scrolls. I gave the scroll and said, I only got a charge spell for you. She took the scroll and learned it right away and said, why does it consumes too few MP points? I know to cast the skill the warrior use 50 MP point and they have a chance to interrupt the casting of spell, whereas I have from 100% chance to interrupt. I said, that was a legendary spell you learnt. After commenting to Lena I walked towards the shop where I could buy intermediate eye crystal. I then bought 50 intermediate eye crystals for 5 gold coins. Then I came to my room to busy myself once again. I combined and made 7 eye crystal legendary props. 1 night vision card, 1 spirit recovering card and 1 mental attack card, all were legendary level cards. Eye crystal, orange. Can view people status 15 levels higher than you. Can see weakness of people or monster. Can appraise all things up to 15 levels higher than user level and must not be greater than orange grade. Eyesight plus 50. Night vision, orange. Can see in the dark, same as day. Can see spirit and their weakness. Can see invisible enemies. Spirit recovering, orange. Recover mana 20 MP per SEC. Additional stats mana, 500. Mental attack, orange. Consume 3 MP to attack monsters or people of the same level. Consume 5 MP to attack monsters or people of 5 levels higher than user and seriously injure them. Now you can control your spirit power accurately and you can control monsters or people lower level than you by consuming 15 mana. It takes 2 mana per minute to control the people or monster. I then replaced the cards with new slots and my status was Robin LVL 10. Health 990/990. MNA 1600 of 1600. Points left 00. Card slot. Equipment SLOT 7 out of 10, max. Weapon SLOT 3 out of 5. Active skill slot 1/5. Passive slot 4 out of 10, max. Eye crystal, orange. Can view people status 15 levels higher than you. Can see weakness of people or monster. Can appraise all things up to 15 levels higher than user level and must not be greater than orange grade. Eyesight plus 50. Night vision, orange. Can see in the dark, same as day. Can see spirit and their weakness. Can see invisible enemies. Spirit recovering, orange. Recover mana 20 MP per SEC. Additional stats mana, 500. Mental attack, orange. Consume 3 MP to attack monsters or people of the same level. Consume 5 MP to attack monsters or people of 5 levels higher than users and seriously injure them. Now you can control your spirit power accurately and you can control monsters or people lower level than you by consuming 15 mana. It takes 2 mana per minute to control the people or monster. Space card 50/50ths. I added all my points to mana as I have huge requirements for mana when combining cards. Then I decided to look at the status of legendary equipment. Headgear LV 10, orange. HP 500. Defense 250. Additional stats 50 STR, 50 Dex. Leather armor LV 10, orange. HP 2000. Defense 1000. Additional skills. Recovery, recover 20 HP per CC, arm guard LV 10, orange. HP 400. Defense 200. Additional stats 50 STR. Gloves LV 10, orange. HP 400. Defense 200. Additional skill. Plus 50 Dex. 50% increase in attack speed. Pant LV 10, orange. HP 1000. Defense 1000. Additional skills. Plus 50 STR. Plus 50 Dex. Moving speed increases by 50%. Leg guard LV 10, orange. HP 500. Defense 300. Additional skill. Plus 25 STR plus 25 Dex. Moving speed increases by 20%. Boots LV 10, orange. HP 400. Defense 200. Additional skill. Plus 25 STR plus 25 Dex. 50% chance to dodge enemy attack. Killer Bow LV 10, orange. Attack 250 to 500. Passive. Shooting speed increase by 50%. Critical strike increase by 50%. Accuracy increase by 50%. Target lock, within 20 meters you can lock the place you want to hit, requires eye crystal, orange. When using sniper arrows the lock range increased to 150 meters. Bone knife LV 10, orange. Attack minus 100 to 200. Passive. Attack speed increased by 100%. Critical strike increased by 100%. Adds bleeding damage to the target. Target bleeds 30 HP per SEC for 15 SEC, when attacked and stealth chance to instantly kill enemy. Then my status looked like. Robin LVL 10. Health 5600/5600. MNA 1600 of 1600. Points left, 0. Card slot. Equipment SLOT 7 out of 10, max. Weapon slot, 3/5. Active skill slot, 1/5. Passive slot, 4 out of 10, max. Eye crystal, orange. Can view people status 15 levels higher than you. Can see weakness of people or monster. Can appraise all things up to 15 levels higher than user level and must not be greater than orange grade. Eyesight plus 50. Night vision, orange. Can see in the dark, same as day. Can see spirit and their weakness. Can see invisible enemies. Spirit recovering, orange. Recover mana 20 MP per SEC. Additional stats mana, 500. Mental attack, orange. Consume 3 MP to attack monsters or people of the same level. Consume 5 MP to attack monsters or people of 5 levels higher than users and seriously injure them. Now you can control your spirit power accurately and you can control monsters or people lower level than you by consuming 15 mana. It takes 2 mana per minute to control the people or monster. Space card, 50/50ths. After wearing the equipment I was satisfied and the decision to sell the other equipment which was not used by me. I went outside the room and walked towards Alan's house. I looked at everyone and took out the eye crystal and said, "Look, this is the last gift I am giving you today, you don't need to praise me." Then I took out the legendary eye crystal prop and gave it to Alan, Lena and Richard. Richard said, "Another legendary level prop. How did you know?" I tried to act surprised but my smiling face was betrayed by intention. Then I said, "Use it, now when I get ancient or sacred level props you will be able to use them." Then I said, "Before I gave you space prop, legendary level, it has recover spell which will help you recover your mana and HP, and also add stats to you HP and MP and main attributes bonus, be sure to check that out. Now I gave you legendary eye crystal, this also have some increasing effect on your stats, can see 15 level higher than your level, can see the weakness of people as well as monster, and the best thing you don't need to spend appraisal fee which can save you a lot of money as it comes as bonuses. So this was the surprise I gave you today, and from tomorrow onwards your hell training begins, be sure to sleep well nicely cause you will be facing the worst nightmare from tomorrow onwards." I said and started to go back. I added a sentence. "Have a good night, may monster hunt you in your dreams." Every time you level up, your attributes increases by 1 of each point and you get additional 5 points to add to your status. And initial attributes of Awakened of level 1 vary from person to person and also depends on talent. Such as if you have Sacred Talent, you receive 3 attributes points boost in your main attributes. Robin LVL 10. Health 5600/5600. MNA 1600 of 1600. Points left 00. STR 50 plus 200. Dex 50 plus 200. Int 50 plus 50, all points added after leveling. Defense 3150. Attack 450-900. Card slot. Equipment SLOT 7 out of 10, max. Weapon SLOT 3 out of 5. Active skill slot 1/5. Stealth, orange, LV1. Active skill for archers. -20 mana is consumed to cast the skill and you will become invisible. If you attack the target, the stealth disappears, but if the target is dead, remain in stealth. Consumes 1 MP per SEC. When shooting an arrow in this mode does 500% damage, and if it hits critical hit, chance to do 1000% damage to enemy. Cooldown, 2 minutes. Passive slot, 5/10, max. Eye crystal, orange. Can view people status 15 levels higher than you. Can see weakness of people or monster. Can appraise all things up to 15 levels higher than user level and must not be greater than orange grade. Eyesight plus 50. Night vision, orange. Can see in the dark, same as day. Can see spirit and their weakness. Can see invisible enemies. Spirit recovering, orange. Recover mana 20 MP per SEC. Additional stats mana 500. Mental attack, orange. Consume 3 MP to attack monsters or people of the same level. Consume 5 MP to attack monsters or people of 5 levels higher than user and seriously injure them. Now you can control your spirit power accurately, and you can control monsters or people lower level than you by consuming 15 mana. It takes 2 mana per minute to control the people or monster. Accuracy/precision, orange, LV1. Passive. Increases the accuracy when shooting arrows by 100% in a range of 50 meters. When using sniper arrows, the accuracy increases to 150 meters. Space card 50/50ths. These is the final attributes, and most of the change will not be done as a character have our powered stats. It's generally impossible to break his defense and until he fights the top adventurer in base 2. I looked at my status satisfied and decided to kill the monster tomorrow, and gain something that will hide my status, as anyone will be surprised to see my status. I thought for a while and decided to travel now as it was already night, so no one stays inside the dungeon during nighttime. I wrote a letter and pasted it outside the room. I am out of service, will be available within 5 days, please patiently wait. Then I walked towards the dungeon, avoiding the guards' patrol, which was easy work for me. With new eye crystal and night vision abilities, I bypassed them without being spotted. I reached the gate of the dungeon and saw 2 guards guarding the gate. I thought for a while and decided to control one of the guards and used a mind skill card. I took control over the guard and looked at the guard next and said, have you heard there is someone heard ghost voice in the night? He said, are you kidding me? Only a 12-year child will believe in the nonsense. I slapped the other guard face, making him stunned, and said, fucker, can't you see I possession of this guy? Do you still not believe in ghosts? And I started making a weird expression. The guard body was soaked in a cold sweat and he started to run away, while I controlled the other guard and chased him. After they were away from the gate, I released them from my control. When the guard regained control of his body, he was soaked in a cold sweat, and said, hey bro, I was controlled by the ghost, I couldn't control any part of my body and only follow his order. This was just a small episode, who thought one day it will become the legendary talk of the guard. I moved inside the dungeon and then walked directly towards the highest floor. The monster here we level 15, as it was the night I had no problem firing the arrow here and there, I just started shooting. Soon only loud noise and monster corpses were scattered around, and when they disappeared, they left silver coins behind. I continued to shoot and finally the boss appeared and I still shoot it, and with a few seconds it was blown. I looked at the drop. 1 gold coins. 1 title scrolls. Cloak, blue, *2. The rest were alchemy material. Then I started to look at cloak status. Cloak, blue. Can hide a status from people the same level as you and 3 levels higher than you. I performed fusion and soon the cloak status. Cloak, purple. Can hide a status from people who are higher than 7 levels of you. I looked satisfied and then once again started killing a monster in frenzy. It took me only half of an hour to summon the new silver boss. I used stealth and used the sniper arrow, the monster head was blown off. I looked at the corpse which disappeared and couldn't help comment, before legendary equipment and skill you all are not worth mentioning. Then I checked the drops and found 5 gold coins. 3 cloak, blue. 1 cloak, purple. And the rest were alchemy material. I fused with the purple cloak and soon a legendary cloak appeared. Cloak, orange. Only people with ancient eye crystals can look at your status. Skill freefall, orange. Consumes 50 mana, makes the user body light as a feather, consumes 3 mana per second to be in this state. You can walk horizontally on the cliff. I equipped the legendary level equipment, my stats didn't change but my ability to survive became greater. I once again hunting monsters and after 3 hours I hunted nearly 5,000 monsters. The drops from the monster were pitifully low and I got only 10 gold coins to drop. I had to sign for the luck of Lena. Soon a gold monster spawned, its status was Golem LV. 15, gold. HP, 50,000/50,000. Mana, 5,000/5,000. Attack, 1,000. Defense, 10,000. Skills, rock throwing. Consumes 100 mana, throws the boulder towards the target, within 3 meters range, does 1,000 damage to the target and has a chance to stun the target. Cooldown, 3 SEC, rock fire, consumes 20 mana and throws small blasting rock which does 500 damage to the target. Passive, has bonus defense, 5,000/5,000. Has the chance to interrupt true damage. I looked at the monster and said, this monster also can't help me play with my full abilities. It will be dead within a minute. Then I entered in stealth and used a sniper arrow and looked at the arrow on its vital part. The damage done by my arrow was 75,000 DPS, as the advantage of stealth is 500% bonus damage. I looked at it turning into light and sighed, legendary equipment, skills, props, are overkill. And I made a lonely expression. The drops dropped by the gold monster were 50 gold coins. Cloak, purple, *3. Shield, purple, *1. Exploding stones green, 20. I was mostly frustrated that of low drops. I decided to bring Lena whenever I come to the dungeon. I missed her a lot. Then I ate and drank, recovered my energy to the peak, and for one day I was hunting the monster, and when the monster count reached 9,999, I looked at my level which had already become LVL 15 and the experience was stored like a golden bar, as you need to go to base 2 to receive the update status at the Awakening Guild, then only can you upgrade to a higher level. Then I started to drink some MP and HP potion and recovered my status to a high level. Then I killed 1 stone golem and next to many golems started to combine and become a big monster of 5 meters high. The momentum of combining monsters was huge, so many adventurers were gathered, and when they saw a huge monster standing and they were scared. Most of the ordinary adventure groups ran away while some of the top adventure guilds were waiting to hunt the monster. I looked at those people with a little sympathy and said, hello guys, welcome to Diamond Boss Monster Hunting Competition. No one listened to my words, so I could only shoot with blast arrow, making the surroundings quiet, and then one said, hello guys, welcome to Monster Hunting Competition. Those who want to hunt the monster please pay 20 gold coins each person, and if you succeed in hunting the treasure are yours, but if you can't you will be dead. Remember my words carefully. An adventure team said, who are you to ask us gold coins? I said, I made this monster, so, of course, you need to pay me. If you don't pay me then. I cast control on his subordinates and gave him the command to cut his hand, and soon the people saw him cutting his hand. Now the people looked at me with fear, and looking their expression I was satisfied and said, do any of your adventure team ask me why do you need to pay? If there are, please say out loud, I will answer you more nicely. The people around were speechless and scared, and said to themselves, you devil can still show the smile as nothing happened. Then I smiled, said, now that the things are done, those teams who want to fight to stand in one line, and those who don't want to fight, I don't mind controlling you all and ask you to do suicide. The people who didn't want to fight ran away without looking back. The people who stayed were as many as 500, and most of them were top in the ranking of adventurers. I looked at them and said, line and start to pay one by one. After you have paid the gold coins you may either fight alone or in groups, I don't care, but after fighting once if you can't defeat then you will be killed, so if you want to run I will not stop you, but your money will not be refunded. Then start to pay, I said. The number of gold coins was rapidly increasing and most of the adventurers team paid me. Soon my gold coins had increased to 8 diamond coins. After the money was paid I looked and saw there were only 3 guilds who didn't pay attention to my words but still stood as no intention to leave. I looked and found one was Tom's Adventure Guild and the other 2 were Troy and Sam Adventure Guild. All of their members had LVL 15 members. They didn't interrupt my way of making money because when I shot the arrow it exploded and swept away all the monsters in that area. The monster had a HP of 1500 but one shot killed them. This scene and the scene of controlling people gave them chills in their back. I then looked at them and said, you three teams are waiting there, you are not going to pay, then stand there and wait for these teams to hunt first and then your chance will come. Then I looked at them and said, I will tell you something about the monster. Stone Golem LV. 15, Diamond. HP 500 000/500 000. MP 25 000/25 000. Attack 5000. Defense 3000. Skills Rock Throw. Consumes 500 mana and throws rock at the area of 6 meters in diameter, doing 5000 damage in that area. Cooldown -3 SEC. Fire Rock consumes 100 mana and deals 1000 damage to target. Also does burning damage of 50 per SEC for a total of 20 SEC. Passive skills, Armor, gains armor which reduces the damage taken by 20%. After I finished saying that, I looked at them with interest and said, if you still want to fight I will not stop you, but tell you if all attack together maybe you have a chance to damage the boss. Go and fight, while I took out food and started eating and watching the show. The people were taken over by greed. They also have purple equipment which comes with the ability to great damage, so they started to fight the monster while I looked at the fight and shook my head as they together did damage of over 2000 and many of the adventurers were severely injured while other had already exhausted all their means. They ran away from the fight and escaped the fighting range of the monster. The boss went back and soon his health returned to full. Then I said, the three big teams, do you want to try without paying? I will not guarantee to control or interrupt you while you are fighting the monster. While I said, I showed my harmless smile, making them so afraid that they were chilled, but Tom's adventurer group said, boy, don't you know my brother is City Lord, hurry up and let us fight the monster, or else I don't believe you can interrupt me. Even if you interrupt me we can ask someone to block the monster. How many people can you interrupt? I guess one person at most. Saying that he said to Troy and Sam, Adventure Guild, you both must know the value of the drop of Diamond Boss Monster, there will be legendary drop equipment, and many other things. Help me, we will divide it equally. They ignored me. I could only sigh helplessly and made an expression you have seen through. Then the three teams went together to hunt the boss. When the boss casts the skill Rock Throw, many people became panicked seeing the big rock coming towards them. I used control skills and made a people from Tom's guild lie down, and many people feel, and after the attack fell on them they instantly died. Looking at dead people in such a miserable way and looking at the monster health which hadn't even dropped to 1/10, they woke up from their greed and fled without looking back. I looked at the people running away with a stunned expression and said, hey cowards, at least reduce his HP by 1/10 then you can run away. The people were full of hatred for me. While I smiled and said, now that you have done it's my chance to kill, but I will remind you to run away from me as I will not guarantee that boss will throw a rock in your direction. The three adventure groups and all other people retreated very far away from at least 500 meters. Then I looked at the monster and used stealth and sniper arrows. I shot at the monster and its HP dropped by half in the instant as the critical damage was triggered. The people on the hill started sweating looking at the damage done by me. It was 250,000 that they would not even think about K in their life. Then looked at me as if looking like a monster. While they were stunned the monster roared and came running, but I started the cloak skill and my steps became light as a feather and my speed increased greatly. I could easily avoid the monster attack, and after some time my stealth cooled down and I ran towards the rock which could hide my figure and entered in stealth once again. When the monster saw no one was there he stopped looking while I made some distance from the monster, loaded the sniper arrow and locked the target vital points and shot it. My luck was good and once again the critical was triggered, killing the monster this time, and soon I saw it disappeared into thin air, leaving few rewards. I didn't see what the rewards were, but I put all of it inside the bag and disappeared from their eyes as I once again used stealth and ran away. After I ran and saw no one was chasing me I stopped and looked at the contents of the drops. 5 diamond coins. Cloak orange, *2. Cloak, purple, *4. Shield LV 15, purple. Staff LV 15, purple. Title scroll combination *10. Dancing burning rock props, orange, throw this rock on enemies, they will start to dance due to hot temperature and interrupt them from casting the spell. This skill may fail if the target's resistance to fire is high. I looked at the drop with emotion and said, really a diamond level monster, 3 orange, 6 purple equipment. Although it takes a lot of time to swap the diamond level monster it's worth it. Next, let's head back, I am almost out for 2 days. Then I walked towards the hut. Alan, Lena, and Richard were all there and were discussing the topic of loss of powerhouse inside the LV-15 dungeon. While the culprit was walking in their direction. Lena said, hey, do you know I heard many people died in the dungeon today, most were from Tom's adventure group and some from Troy and Sam's adventure groups. Alan added, Tom's adventure group suffered a major loss, is the news true? Of course it's true, you can ask Richard, we saw many people who had become disabled and their spirits were hit hard, it was the same for Troy's and Sam's adventure guild. I was with Lena when going to buy some accessories, I saw with my own eyes and we heard them whispered, a diamond-level monster spawn in LV-15 dungeon. The most important talk was the diamond-level monster was killed in 2 arrows of a kid who was 10 years old. Added Richard. Lena couldn't help comment, hey, where do you think the leader went? Why do I feel the culprit likely to be a leader? Hey, we know that you have a crush on the leader but don't compare those 2 people together, Alan commented. Alan, your thinking is low, I think there is a 50% probability that this masterpiece was also created by a leader, don't forget the leader gave us more than one piece of legendary equipment / props / skills. Now can you say with certainty that the 10 years person was not a leader if he weighs then he had already started a legend? Added Richard. While was walking towards the hut I sneezed and thought which girl was thinking about me. Well, let's go and give them a surprise. Well, but should I ask you to praise me again? Well, let's decide later. I reached my hut after some time and then looked at those people and Lena commented on me, leader the cloak makes you look like a villain, and your handsome face can't be seen properly. I know the leader is handsome and wants to hide from girls, so leader I will make a face mask please take off the cloak. Lena your praise is welcomed by me, so let me give you a gift, saying that I took out the cloak, orange, and handed it to her and said, this cloak can hide your status and only people with ancient, pink, level I crystal or above can spy on you. Leader you look more handsome in the cloak, giving an evil charm, commented Alan from behind. Ah, Alan thank you for your praise, here is a cloak for you, I said and then looked at Richard and also gave him the cloak and said, you haven't worn a cloak give it to you. Richard sighed with emotion and said, leader it's not that I didn't wear the cloak but it's too hard to find the monster that drops cloak and with the drop rate of monster only crazy people will put their life on the line to look for those monster. If we auction the cloak, then minimum it will sell for 1,000 platinum coins. Added Richard. I said, don't sigh with emotion, follow me, legendary is just the beginning ancient and sacred will also be possible in the future, making myself more mysterious. While those people looked at me with contempt, I laughed awkwardly and said, in future. I looked at the excited expression on their face and showed my white teeth and put on a harmless smile and said, well now that I have given you the cloak, skills you are ready for next training. When they saw the harmless smile on my face they began to tremble as whenever they saw the smile the people will suffer greatly. Then I said, last time I told you that you will go through hell level training with me so now is the time, then I looked at Richard and asked, please take care of Alan's sister if possible we will try our best to come out of the dungeon within 2 months. Then I said, prepare today and try to fill water and food in your space bag as much, that you don't need to have any problems for 2 months. Try to sleep as much as possible as you will not be able to sleep in the night, the monster roar will make you not to sleep at night, I said and walked towards my hut. While Richard looked at Alan and Lena and said, remember to persist in the training, as our adventure is different from these people, we are going to be the strongest guild in future. It's my regret as I was not given the opportunity to training under people but I gradually teamed up and fight and leveled up to kill the monster only of the same level. If you can persist then you will completely change, and be reborn anew. Go and take a good rest as from tomorrow sleep will be luxury to you, added Richard and took Aaron towards his hut. While Lisa said, brother you need to work hard, don't let leader down and sister Lena you too. Both Lena and Alan said, don't worry, we will train with a leader in this hell-like training. I yawned and said to myself, I need to have good sleep. While saying I slept on the bed. The next day in the morning after eating breakfast I said, Alan you are not allowed to cook in the dungeon. Then after eating we left towards the dungeon. The space inside the dungeon on each floor is very big so we don't have any conflict. So, I took them to level 1 and said, now you will not wear any equipment except for a cloak and your main weapon. Alan you will only keep staff in your hand and fight it with, try to develop a fighting awareness and you can use your skills to combine and create your unique fighting abilities, and also try to understand the skills better way so you can cast the skills more fastly. And then I looked at Lena and said, Lena you will only fight with a shield in your hand, you have only 2 skill charges and stun, one stuns the target and the other speeds up your speed in one direction, try to use them more efficiently like when do you need to stun the enemy, when they cast skill it's perfect chance to stun them and charge also, try to understand this skills as it increases your speed in short term without any side effects. So remember the feeling while activating the skills try to change the direction so you can launch a surprise attack on enemies. The cloak has one skill which is called freefall, which makes your step light as a feather, but try to use this ability only when you think you have done your best and can't hold on, it will increase your speed too much. After training for first 2 weeks try to kill a bronze monster from a level higher than you. Don't be afraid of the bronze monsters, just their HP and defense are a little higher than an ordinary monster and they also have skills which while activating them they make some abnormal moment while casting, so while watching that movement you can avoid those skills. And then all you have to counterattack the monster, it's simple as that. Well now you both start the training. I also unequipped all the cards and became a novice and started training with a basic bow and arrow training. Of course I upgraded the card so it will produce an arrow and I don't need to change the quiver. I set a goal myself to shoot anything within 10 meters in 1 week and the training began. We trained together on the first day. We were physically and mentally exhausted, so as we were in LV1 dungeon we slept at night, but some monster roared from time to time, making it difficult to sleep. The next morning I woke up and said, "Welcome to hell level training. Here you not only have to fight monsters all day long, but you need to find a suitable place to sleep also, so pay attention to monster habits as it will increase your chances of survival when you are in the forbidden zone." Then we kept on training. While my accuracy in bow and arrow had reached to the level of perfection, within 10 meters I can accurately shoot a flies, as long as I see it. Next, I decided to set my goal up to 20 meters and I had to work even harder for it, while Alan and Lena had also become proficient in using their weapons and they could adapt to sleep in the surrounding. Richard can't come inside the dungeon as it has level restrictions, and so Lisa and Aaron couldn't be brought inside. Alan has now a basic understanding of skills and he could cast them while dodging the attack, and he had learned how to use staff fighting in close combat, and Lena had also improved a lot. In terms of skill, her stun had reached to perfection level where she could even throw her shield and stun the enemies. Her charge didn't have any progress, but she could now use the full output of power while using charge skills. Next week we set the target and we had already moved to a higher floor, as while hunting last time's silver monster boss the experience given was enough to level Lena and Alan to LV6. So, I took them to the LV6 dungeon and asked them to practice. Their hard work paid off. Now they were not nervous while facing the monster and easily avoided some monster beast, while they would counterattack from time to time when the time was right. They could also use the skills timely. I left them on their own and I started my training. Now I had to master shooting accurately within 20 meters and the crazy training once again began. I kept on practicing with my accuracy training skills while Alan and Lena solo hunted the creatures and finally challenged the bronze level monster and killed, although the killing boss took an hour to do so. Now that they were ready and had already upgraded their level to 8, so I took them to the 8th level. This time my goal was to practice sniping arrows, so I had already brought a bow and arrow for it. The maximum distance to the target is 60 meters. While I set my goal, I asked them to wear a cloak, weapons, and eye crystal, which comes with recovery stats. Now that you can fight the bronze level monsters without the use of other equipment, now I will allow you to wear eye crystal and use free fall abilities and train in that skill. Try to kill the silver level monster by next 2 weeks. After saying, I walked and found a suitable location to practice my sniping skills. It took me 2 weeks to finally produce the result in sniping arrows. Now I could shoot within 60 meters accurately without any error. Alan and Lena also had great improvement in their skills, as they could now challenge and kill the silver monster boss and their level had reached level 12. I looked at them and said, "Hunting these monsters you have done good things, now you need to know the most important thing, that is while you are fighting monsters or people, you need to attack them at their vital position to kill them fast." Alan said, "Is it necessary to be so precise, as we can already kill most of the monsters here?" I said, "Here the monster follows the pattern, so you can easily kill them, but when you go to the forbidden zone their monster have some wisdom, so they will use different tactics to attack you, so you need to use your eye crystal and kill the monster by hitting their vital part only. Remember, bronze level is equivalent to the ordinary level monster and silver level is equivalent to the bronze level in the forbidden zone, so what you can defeat is only an elite level monster," I said. "Next, when you're able to defeat gold level monster, then the training period will be over. But remember, gold level monster is more powerful, so you need to be a little cautious. Now that you're level 12, try to raise your level to level 15 in 1 week and then we will go to the highest floor, where you will fight gold level monster," I added and went to train myself. In this 1 week I wanted to train to use the freefall skills with a dagger, so I soon started the crazy training again, and after a few days, I was killing the ordinary monster like cutting grass, and with freefall, my speed had greatly increased, so if anyone would look they will find that a person in disappearing from one place, came near the monster in an instant and then all he saw was a flash and then monster fell to the ground. Training like this was fun, and like this, a week had passed, we had already been inside the dungeon for 1 month and 1 week. Now only 23 days are left for the training to end. Today we gathered and moved towards the last level dungeon, and this time I asked them to kill a gold level monster by the end of the month. While they were honing their skills and combat techniques, I had planned these 3 weeks to train my shooting speed. Once again we began to work like crazy. Soon the last day of the month came. I was looking at the 2 people fighting the golden level boss respectively. They both had honed and formed their way of fighting skills, such as Lena. Now she had become so proficient in using the skill charge and stun, that she would charge and then use stun and throw the shield towards the target vital organs, and she does massive damage to the enemies. Whereas Alan, he doesn't have any fighting techniques, but his healing skills have become so proficient that he can cast heal on himself and recover to his pick stats while healing himself, and also does critical damage to the monster. After fighting for a while they defeated the monster, then they came to me and smiled and said, "Leader, we have completed the training. Was it satisfactory? Please reward us." I looked at them with a satisfied expression and said, "Of course it's more than satisfactory, you have worked hard, so I will reward you both with a legendary equipment set. Let's go to the hut, we haven't been there for a long time." When Alan and Lena heard they were going to get legendary level equipment set, they jumped in excitement, and said, "Leader, are you telling us the truth?" I nodded and said, "Who is your leader? If I can't even produce legendary level equipment, then I wouldn't train you so hard." But I showed my white teeth and sunny smile and said, "After you get legendary equipment, I want you to come inside the dungeon and hunt from level 1 to level 15 and try to get the title scroll, and if you already have keep it with you and don't use. I feel like there is some bonus in it, and also we need to kill some diamond level monster for your graduation from a newbie," I added. I walked towards the hut with Alan and Lena. When we were walking towards the home, most of the people gave us their way, likely to be afraid of us. We looked at each other and I said, "Why do people look at us like they are afraid of us, or have my face value decreased that they are avoiding us?" Alan and Lena looked at me and said, "Yes, your face value has greatly decreased, and now you don't look good." Hearing their answer I said, "Really, or isn't it because of the foul smell coming from your body?" As I said, I pinched my nose and stayed away from them. Lena said, "As I said, you are the one who smells the worst, next time I must take more water with me." I said, "Yes, I will specially make a legendary space bag in which we will store food, water, tent, bathtubs, and many more things." Both Lena and Alan nodded their head and said, "Leader is the best." We soon reached the hut and our smell made Richard, Aaron, and Lisa aware that we were here, and they pinched their noses and said, "Take a bath first, we will welcome you later." We went and took bath. Finally, we were free from the smell, and next, we came and sat. Everyone was present, but Aaron and Lisa hid behind Richard, making Alan and Lena puzzled. I said, "Hey, what are you little guys afraid of?" Seeing this scene, Richard said, "You have killed so many monsters that a killing aura is formed near you, making people afraid. Try to put your aura away." I looked at Richard with an awkward expression on my face and asked, "How do we put murderous aura inside our body?" He said, "Just relax your mind and think of happy moments. The killing aura will go inside your body, it will only come out when you become angry." We nodded. Then the killing aura around us gradually began to dissipate. Then Aaron and Lisa came from behind Richard and said, "Now you all don't look scary as before." I asked, "Does my face looks handsome when I was in that state before?" Lisa said, "No, your face looked ugly." I got critical hit by her word. Then I walked towards the side and said, "Alan, prepare the food," then went to Richard and asked, "Have you bought all I asked?" Richard took out the space bag and handed it to me. I said, "After eating lunch I will once again enter for seclusion, and it will take me 4 to 5 days. Mr. Richard I will ask you to go shopping with them, and buy as many space bags, for future use." Then I ate the food and rested for 1 day. The next day I got up at 10 o'clock in the morning and my boring process of making legendary equipment began. In 1 day I created 4 pieces of equipment. In this way it took me 4 days in total to create the legendary equipment. Then I walked outside the room and saw everyone. I went to them and handed over the space bag to both Alan and Lena and said, "Inside it is a full legendary set, wear it." Then I looked at Richard and said, "Have you brought the space bag?" Then hand them all over to me. After taking the space bag, once again I became busy and created 10 space bags, which took me a total of 2 days. I came and handed 1 space bag to everyone. This time I decided to give 1 to Aaron and 1 to Lisa, but both Richard and Alan refused and said, if they knew this child was carrying legendary space props they will try to kidnap them first. I also nodded in agreement and said, "Grow up soon and at that time I will give you the gift." They both were sad at first but became happy hearing I was going to give them gifts. Soon it was time to eat the dinner. Today I ate and talked. The atmosphere was harmonious when Richard said, "When we will leave base 1 and head to base 2. I said, "Latest by 10 days, take this 2 space bag and these diamond coins, try to fill them with food and water so that we don't need to worry about finding food in the wilderness." Richard nodded in understanding and said, "Anything else?" I said, "You can buy some accessories, like tents, beds, and give them to me when we come from the dungeon." He nodded and said, "Tent is indeed important." Then I looked at Alan and Lena and said, "From tomorrow within 10 days we need to gain the titles from each floor and it will take 2 days at most. Next 8 days, we must fight a platinum level boss, which will be our first battle in team." Hearing these say they were filled with excitement, as before they only used to support me but now they could join and fight side by side, which made them feel the 2 months training was worth it. I looked at them and said, "Enjoy today. Tomorrow we will head out and our target in the Forbidden Zone is the base of the monster, so you need to defeat at least platinum level monster to bear its pressure." After fighting we will rest for 2 days and leave towards the forbidden zone. We will free the zone from monster controlling us, then we will leave without taking the credit and try to make our identity mysterious, as we don't need attention or fame, we need strength when we can openly appear before people, but now is not the time. So eat and rest well, the next day I will take you dungeon. Then saying that I went towards my room. Richard went inside the room and bowed towards an old man projection and said, "Sir, finally you contacted me, the legend is true sir, these little guys as you predicated are becoming stronger, and sir they will take action against the Forbidden Zone 1 within 15 days. The old man in projection said, "These guys are good, you have done a good job and I will give orders to put pressure on our side so we can defeat and gain a connection with Base 1. Okay, the power is not enough for me to talk long, so when they are going to attack the Forbidden Zone contact me that time." Then the projection disappeared. Richard bowed towards the projection and left the room. I didn't know about the talk between Richard and the mysterious old man. I was sleeping in the house thinking of a beautiful woman praising my handsome face. I was having the dream when they were going to praise me and I was filled in excitement, but there was a loud knock on the door and my dream shattered and I was back to reality. I looked at the ceiling blankly and then thought about the dream and sighed with emotion. God also know I am too handsome that even he doesn't allow someone to praise in the dream. I could only sigh, then opened the door and looked at the excited expression on Alan's and Lena's faces and probably guessed that they must have worn the legendary equipment and couldn't sleep at night and came to disturb me in the morning. If I knew that this was going to happen I would have not given them the equipment. Then I shook my thoughts away and said, "Hey, didn't you sleep at night and come to my door and you know you broke my beautiful dream? I was surrounded by beautiful girls and next they were going to praise me and you had to knock the door at that time." Lena snorted and said, "This beautiful lady will kiss you. Come, let's go to the dungeon, I want to get the title fast and want to play with a gold level boss. He had the lady last time, I want to take revenge." Alan joined her and said, "Yes leader, we want revenge, you must seek justice for us." I had several black lines on my face and said, "But you killed that monster before, whom are you going to take revenge? Just say directly you are excited and want to kill the monster to vent your excitement." Lisa came near me and gave a kiss on the cheek and said, "I have done what I said, now take the lady to kill the monster." I said, "Okay, wait, I need to go to the bathroom and then we will head towards the dungeon, but have you brought the bathtub, clothes, food etc.? We will be staying there for 10 days, if not you must go and find Richard and ask him to accompany you to the market." Then I yawned and went inside the room and thought, really a child, and shook my head, went to the bathroom, then took a bath, ate some breakfast and saw the children were here again. "Okay, let's go," I said. They cheerfully followed me, while I said, "This time try to hunt the monster faster so you can adjust your strength fully and then we will fight LV-15 monster." They nodded the head and we started killing the monster from dungeon floor 1 to floor 15. Only the level in which the monster didn't drop the title, we hunted those floors only, and who knew how much time will it take to kill 100,000 LV-15 monsters to summon diamond level monster. While killing the monster we got a prop. For other people it's a dangerous thing, but for us, it was the best thing. The name of the prop is Beast Attracting Perfume. Beast Attracting Perfume, Gray. Attract the beast on the material is it spread. Smell range 2 kilometers, use 99/99. Then I said, "Lena and Alan, you kill, I have to do something, I will come within a minute." Lena asked, "Where are you going all of a sudden?" I looked at her and showed her my white teeth. She knew he say something terrible and just as predicted I said, "I am going to pee, want to go with me," and showed an accepting expression. She blushed and said, "Shameless." I said, "Thank you." While Alan looked at me in admiration and said, "Boss, shamelessness we can never compare with." Lena glared at Alan and said, "If you talk I will from blue to black and from black to blue." Then she ignored him and murmured and said softly, which was audible to the flies, "Bastard, this lady has written the grudge in the heart and I will pay you back in the future." Then she took out the diary from the space bag and wrote down her grudges and closed it. When I was walking towards a safe place where I could upgrade the Beast Attracting Perfume to legendary level, as we killed the gold level boss and easily got 2 purple perfumes. I don't know why I felt a chill in my heart for no reason and looked right and left, up and down, front and back and found no one was there. Then I said, "I am a handsome guy and also a shameless person, so I will overcome the problem when it comes, yes." My self-confidence in beating the invisible enemy has reached its peak while thinking. Then I found a safe place where no one could see and then I soon started upgrading. The prop attributes were: Beast Attracting Perfume, Orange. Attracts monster within 10 kilometers radius. The potion effect takes after 30 minutes the potion is used. Potion scent remain in the air for 2 hours. No of use 99/99. Passive, recover 1 use per hour. Looking at the perfume I was satisfied and now summoning a platinum level boss as possible. I went back and Lena said, "Took you too long." Alan also looked at me and said, "Boss, your drinking capacity is so great. I had several black lines on my face and said, "You can't pee in open, but must find a suitable place, idiots." Both of them blushed. I shook my head and said, "Let's go if possible, we will soon be able to summon a platinum level boss in 5 to 6 days. Lena said, "Robin, which legendary prop you got, show us the status." I showed them the status and they said, "The no of monsters within 10 kilometers will be 1,000 or even more, and we can't fight so many." I said, "You need to use your mind and now I will show you some of my real power, don't be surprised later. But let me experiment with the idea here once." Then I started to gather blast arrows one by one and collected up to 500 arrows and made a bundle of 10 arrows each, and soon 50 such bundles were created.